You are listening to a Dynamic Works Productions podcast. This show is available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio Network, and many, many more podcast services around the world. You can find all our content, music, videos, books, podcasts, and more on our website, www.dynamicworksproductions.com. Have questions, comments, or concerns for us? Head on over to the social tab on www.dynamicworksproductions.com if you'd like to talk to us. Now, on with the show. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Fork in Your Ear podcast. As I silence my watch because it's interrupting my quiet, soft intro. There we go. Watch is silent. Welcome to another episode of the Fork in Your Ear podcast. We're going to do things ever so slightly different this week. We're still going to do the spin for the topics, but we're going to start off with life. Because life has indeed been a happening to both myself and, of course, my co-host and main man on stage. Do you like the picture I paint when I say that? Main man on stage, Mike List.
How's it going, Tim? The picture was painted beautifully, sir.
Oh, okay. It's going...
Yeah. Life is a fickle bitch. Let me just put it that way.
Sure, certainly is. As
you hear Pete utterly destroy a cow bone that we bought him from a local farmer's market.
Oh dear. Wow.
So, folks, please ignore him destroying the bone during this episode. It's the only thing that keeps him somewhat happy, considering he is just like I have, and my Jess, the missus, have been moping around for the past day and a half. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys all know. Tim, you know, I have a German Shepherd. She was 10, and her back legs were starting to go a little wobbly.
Yeah, because they do, because of the German Shepherd breed.
Because they do, yeah. They're bred. I don't know why. That's it. Somebody decided that would be a good thing to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was also me not being serious. That was sarcasm. So we took her to the vet. The vet, I mean, she was having problems, going to the bathroom, controlling herself. So there was a lot of accidents this past couple weeks. So we made the vet appointment. We took her to the vet. And I think deep down inside, I knew what was going to happen. But I was like, holding it back and saying, no, it'll be okay. Yeah. Ends up not okay. The vet was like, well, we can give her this medicine. Everything will be, it'll make her, feel a little bit better, but the damage is going to be done, and then it's going to move up into her front legs, and then sooner or later she'll just be unresponsive.
Yeah.
Unable to move.
Yeah.
For the people who have been listening since the beginning, you guys all know I have PTSD, and she was my service animal. She was my service dog. I've had her since she was 6 weeks old. I bottle fed
her.
And
how many years ago, or what year was it?
10 years. It was okay. It was 2018, and 2008.
Okay.
When I got diagnosed, she was with me through all the bad and the good, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, she was like my best friend. She was more than an animal. She was she was everything to me, basically.
Yeah.
and even to my Jess. My Jess loved her. You know, what I mean, she called her my baby. You know, that's what we called her. She was our baby. We can't have kids, so we were just gonna have. We said, we'll have puppies. It is what it is. Um, so the vet's like, we can do this, we can do that, but it's a short time. It's an inevitability. She's gonna be bad. It's gonna get worse. He said, like I said, I can give you medicine, and I can give you things to do, like get a pool, have her swimming, this, that, and the other. But the what I can suggest right now is you put her to sleep,
Yeah.
because she's not going to recover, and eventually it won't be a way of life. It'll just be her struggling to do anything that's reminiscent of the dog that I loved. So,
Yeah.
uh, I mean, we thought about it. I'm not gonna lie. We thought about having her, just getting her on the medicine, paying the money, having everything stay around. But at the end, we decided, because, I mean, as much as we wanted her around, and I miss her. It's only been a day and a half, and I missed the shit out of her. We decided, like I said, to put her down. It was tough, and it's still tough. Tim, I know, we've talked. You've put down 2 German Shepherds, correct?
Oh no, one. And
One.
and personally, you know, it wasn't my call.
Okay.
It was my family's call. I grew up with a German Shepherd named Bailey,
Hmm.
who was a rescue dog who we took from this. He had this really fucked up life where he like lived on this farm, but he was like abused by like a little Irish terrier, like since he was a pup. And then this farm raised Shetland ponies, and the Shetland ponies like abused him, like they kicked him and
Really?
told him off and shit. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And so I remember because everybody remembers their first dog. Um, and actually, now that I think about it, I think he died in 2008. Now that I think about it, because I'm thinking about when we got him, and it was like
Yeah.
1998, I want to say.
And
And but yeah, no, he was a weird dog because like first of all, he didn't behave like any dog I was familiar with at the time. And whenever he got angry, in addition to like his heckles coming up,
mhm.
he would like neigh and bay with like the head shake back and forth like a fucking pony.
Like a horse.
Yeah, because that's
That's
what he
weird.
was raised with.
Oh, okay.
And because he was raised by this little asshole uh Irish terrier, um like this particular German Shepherd, who I'm 100% confident never actually was conscious of the fact that he was a dog. Like I'm pretty sure he thought he was a Shetland pony who just
Hmm.
happened to bite everything he could like a terrier, because that's the animals he was raised with, and that's was who was boss when he was puppy. So you know I remember it
Yeah.
took like 4 months before he like kind of realized that like he wasn't going back to that hellhole, and like
Hmm.
this is
Calm
like
down.
his new herd or whatever who was nice to him, you know
Yeah.
because like I remember you'd be like trying to like pet him or like give him like a chew toy, you know and he'd be all friendly one minute and then he'd bite you the next, and then you just have to reprimand him because he just didn't know any better.
Yeah.
It's how he was raised. He was raised with a biter and things that were 1,000 times larger than him, you know? And
Yeah. Dogs are weird because they take on the personas of what are around them.
yeah, yeah.
You know.
And I agree because like Bailey was so funky, like you hear often because dogs see in black and white that they particularly hate um like UPS trucks and African Americans. because
Mhm.
they just appear as like black objects, you know, whether vehicle or person, you know. But like, you know, my current German Shepherd Zephyr, like I have never seen the kind of hostility towards uh African Americans that Bailey did. So I kind of feel like whatever the hell his upbringing before he landed in my family, like he had some kind of rough go, because every single black person that Bailey met, he would circle them twice and then bite them right in the ass.
Really?
He did not give a fuck who it was, you
That's weird.
know, like it was just what he did. And I was like, man, like, and he didn't do it in like, oh, I'm gonna bite you. It's like, oh, I'm circling, sneak attack.
Like a shark?
Yeah, like a shark. Exactly
Yeah.
like a shark. That's what he would do, you know? And I remember there was a really bad one where on a UPS guy's thigh, you know, they wear those shorts.
Hmm. Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
fuck. He was bleeding all over the fucking place, you know? And,
Oh yeah. German shepherds have a bite to them.
oh, yes. Yes, indeed. Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
they don't play around. They have a that's what they're used for police dogs.
Yeah.
They have a holding bite is what they have. That when they bite, they clamp down, and it is. Oof.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. They are, yeah, they're definitely a different kind of dog. That's for sure. I've never seen another dog that's quite like a German Shepherd, you
No.
know. And of course, each one has their own quirks and what's like. I think Bailey towards the end, you know, uh, even though he had a super abusive life and was suspicious of anything that wasn't himself or myself or my mom and dad,
Yeah,
you
his
know,
pack.
yeah. I think he was really intelligent compared to my current dog Zephyr. Like he was just like really smart about stuff. Like you'd like throw the ball, you know, and instead of
Hmm.
being like, "Oh my god, I'm so excited for it," he's like, "I know where you throw it. Why would I go get it? You're
You're
stupid,
just
human.
yeah.
Go
You're
get it
just
for
gonna get
me."
it for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, bring it back. I saw where it landed. You know, his thing was like if he saw where it landed, there's no game. You know, but if you threw it out of his sight and he had to like track it down with like his
Oh yeah. He
nose,
was a
like
tracker.
yeah, he was down with that game. You know,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. He was also a weird dog. Like you couldn't. Uh, we took him to dog classes because he did have a violent upbringing and he needed to
Yeah, you wanted to
get
make sure.
needed to get some shit out. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they actually told us that he was one of the most difficult dogs they had to train because he didn't respond to food in training. You know, he didn't give a shit. Like if he had like cheese and like you know, like a hollowed out ball or a Kong, you know, like he didn't give a shit about that. You know, he gave a shit about like playing, you know, like throw that ball where I can't see it and let me hunt for it. That's what I want to do.
Oh
You know?
yeah, yeah.
And Bailey also did this thing which we called which we affectionately dubbed zooming, where like he'd be like totally just like calm, cool, regal, and then he'd kind of get this like wry smile and his tail would wag a little bit, and then you'd like acknowledge his weirdness and be like, "What are you doing?" And he would just like go complete goofball and like just run around the house like a crazy person, as though you were chasing him, even though you're like sitting on the couch and you're like, what are you doing?" And he would just run around, you know, like there is
Yeah.
some insane game afoot, but you weren't doing anything, and it's like, what are you doing? You
Yep.
hunky
We call
dog.
that puppy time with Pete.
Oh yeah.
Like he'll just get crazy manic and just start booking around the house and like grabbing his toy and whipping around and throwing it at me and I'll throw it at him and he'll
Mhm.
like just get excited. He's like, "Fuck yeah, we're doing shit." But with Bella, she was trained for like emotions
Hmm.
more than like a physical helper. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like when
like
if you were
so.
upset.
I mean, you told me that she was a service dog, but I mean,
Yeah.
service can mean anything in fucking these animal days. But she was she was actually trained.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like she was like I took her. I've taken her to the movies with
Oh,
me
that's
because I don't like
awesome,
crowds.
dude.
Yeah, like the people at AMC, the
Mm-hmm.
local AMC, know her.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I would come in, they'd be like, "Hey, Bella," and they would talk to her and give her a treat, and um, I would, the I'm sure in Washington, the seats you have like the dope seats in the theaters, right? The recliners and all that.
I can only think of 2 theaters that have that.
Okay, well, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
She would either lay because we would always take the seats in the back, in the very back that are separate
Mm-hmm.
because they're for obviously people in wheelchairs or people with service animals or whatever. I don't like having people next to me in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because it's just like a survival thing. She would either sit next to me under the legs or on top of or on our lap, like across Jess and I
Mm-hmm.
in the movie theater, and she would just either watch the movie or sleep. She never had an accident in the theater. If she had to go outside to go to the bathroom, she would cue me, and I would take her outside.
Mm.
She was a really great dog. Um, now even now, so you put a dog to sleep, so they give him a sedative.
So on that particular note, as I said, it wasn't my decision, and I also wasn't around
Oh, okay,
when he was put down.
okay,
What I went through was, and I was working in downtown Seattle at the time, and I got up, and there was just, best I could describe it, like mucusy puddles of poop
yep,
everywhere,
yep,
everywhere in the house. And Bailey was just, he was breathing funky. And I was like, dude, what's going on?
mm-hmm.
And I woke my folks up, and we took him for a walk. And I remember this as clear as fucking day. The whole family, like my dad was dead silent. And my mom always did all the sort of like not like, she's not the type of person who's like the goo goo baby dog thing, but more like she's sort of communicating as though the dog is communicating. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like she's the speaker for the dog. You know what I mean? You ever seen those people?
Yeah, she would know
Like,
what's going on.
yeah, like Bailey would look one way and she would just sort of say what she thought he was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I remember we walked from our porch, and we had like one of those. I think in 2008 we had so like there was a porch and there was like some steps to get up to like I don't know what you'd call it, like a concrete, like there's like a grass and like a concrete pathway through the grass, but the grass was like elevated from the rest of the property.
Okay,
Like
so
it was
like
up,
an
like,
island
I
almost.
guess, like, so like imagine a weird shaped piece of property, and there's like 5/8 crushed gravel everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and then like trees, and then there's a house, and then the house has a lawn in front, but because most everything on the property is gravel, it's like raised up in like its own sort of concrete bed by like a foot or two. So
Oh,
you'd have
okay, yeah, yeah.
steps from the gravel going up to a pathway through grass, going up to like a wooden porch. So not like terribly like tall or anything, like maybe between the gravel and the house door, maybe like a 4 foot difference overall, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I remember we came out and he had such a hard time getting down those steps, and they're like really shallow, so they're not even like, it's not tall or nothing. And he was on a leash for a little bit, and then mom took him off the leash, and then she was just like, yeah, everybody's coming with me for a walk, and this is great. I've got my pack, and I'm gonna go out to the edge of the property here, and our gate that goes out to the road, and kind of went out to the gate. And he was struggling by the time he got out to the gate, and then he had that weird mucusy.
Wobble?
He had a wobble. I don't think it was, as prominent as, I've definitely seen it in other German Shepherds. And, I've heard you talk about it,
Yeah.
Like, it was there, and, he released his bowels a little bit, and he definitely just sort of, like... There was sort of, like, this uncommunicated but communicated, like, hey, family, I love you, but I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm done. Do what you got to do.
Yeah. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was kind of weird because, like, he'd been scampering about, like, 2 days before, and and I've heard from, like, the dog whisperer and stuff like that, dogs don't, they don't know they're old, and so when old things just from, Kuna Matata circle of life, body
Mm-hmm.
degradation things, they just sort of sneaks up on them, because they're not necessarily going to tell you, unless they're
Yeah.
in,
Yeah.
like, some physical pain.
Yeah.
And so we all walked with him, and I remember crying, and I remember my dad saying, we're gonna take him to a vet, and I had to get going, and I was already running late, and so I was like, well, let me know what happened. And then I think I took off like 9:30 or something in the morning. It's a terrible time to drive to Seattle, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on lunch break around 12:30, and my mom called me, and she was like, well, it was bad, and we decided that we needed to put Bailey down. So when you come home, Bailey is not here.
Yeah.
And I think my first reaction was shock, and then I was like, and then it was anger because I was like, nobody consulted with me. You could have shot a text.
Yeah. You could have said something.
Something.
Hey,
I
hey,
would have
buddy.
drove back if I had known,
Mm-hmm.
that was truly it. Because I guess, the rational younger me was kind of like, well, he's got like worms or stomach flu or something, some doggy virus,
Dude, you're saying exactly the same things I said to myself.
I bet, buddy.
I was like, oh, she's just sick. It's because she's old. It's because she's old.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, it's not anything bad. Maybe she like pulled a muscle, and that's what I was doing. And then I realized, like, when we took her to the vet, he was like, I can give her something, and I mean, it's going to be expensive because you have to buy the medicine for her, and you can't get insurance for a pet. You have to you have to just basically pay like you don't have insurance. For the pyrithrazine or whatever the fuck he said it was.
Yeah.
And he was like, you can fully do that. That's your call entirely. However, like I said, like he was like I said, she's just going to deteriorate, and you're going to watch her go to nothing. And Jess and I talked about it, and I mean, he was like, I can give you a couple minutes, and I'm like, please, yeah, that'd be great. And I was mad, Tim. Like,
Sure.
I was really pissed, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I was mad at everything and everyone. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, Jess and I were screaming at each other.
Yeah.
Because she was like, you can't, like, we can't get rid of her. We can't put her down. She's all we had. Like, she's our baby. She's like our baby. Just trying to rationalize to it. And I looked at her and I said, I can't let the dog. That stopped me from pulling the trigger.
Hey man, I'm already crying because I'm I'm
Like,
remembering Bailey. So
like, she stopped me from pulling the trigger. Like, Tim, I mean, I'm sure you knew this. I had a gun in my mouth. Like, I was ready to end it.
I didn't know that, actually, buddy.
And she saved my life. Like, I say all the time, like, when I say she saved my life, she saved me. Like, She came to me, she sat, she whimpered, and she put her head on my lap and looked up at me. And I put the 40, I you know, dechambered the round,
Yeah.
put the gun on safe, put it down, and I just hugged her and cried. And like, that's what I said. She's like my best friend, man. Like I can't ever, like, she'll never be replaced to me.
Sure.
But the thing that got me was, even when I was crying and I was losing it and Jess was losing it, she was still, even though she was out, like I knew she wasn't there. Like they said, they sedate him, and I knew she wasn't there. She still was like kissing, like licking me and like doing her job.
Yeah.
Then, it's quick. It's like 15 seconds before they're gone. And I was just holding her. I was talking to her.
Yeah.
And I was thanking her.
Man, I'm crying more than you are.
No, you're not. I'm just really good at talking through tears, dude.
Okay.
And she told, I heard her last breath.
No.
And I told her, run free.
Oh.
And then they leave you alone for a while so you could,
Sure.
grieve. And I was hugging her and we were crying, and Jess and I were crying. And then he comes in. He's like, do you want to take the body to bury it, or do you want us to cremate her? And I said, I want you, we can't really bury her in our backyard. We don't have the space.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, well, do you want her ashes? And I said, yes, I fucking want her ashes. And he was like, okay, because if you check the wrong box, we'll cremate her with all the other dogs and you won't get her ashes back. I said, no, I'm going to get her ashes. Like I made, like my sadness turned to anger, like that.
Yeah.
And like I was like, listen, dude, if this is like, you make sure that this dog is given back to me. You know what I mean? And he was like, okay, well, here's, you can pick the box, the engraving and all that. And I was like, this is what I want. And we did everything, and then we paid for it. And on the way out, I just had her collar and her leash in my hand. And I just looked at Jess and I was like, I'm sorry. Like that's the only thing I could say to her. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
For everything she's done for me. And even though she's like my service dog, whenever Jess got depressed or whenever she was anxious, she would she was so good at her fucking job, Tim. She would cue off at anybody. And I cried a bunch last night, and we talked.
Yeah.
You caught me when I was actually, on the upswing of the manic and depressive.
I mean, you were pretty quiet when I first started talking to you. I think by the end of it, you were doing a little better.
Yeah, when it was just us.
Yeah.
Because we were playing Fortnite, and when it was just us, I felt more, because I don't, as much as I know Kono and Killbot and Buzz, I don't know them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I keep people I don't know very at a distance.
Yeah,
I don't,
for sure.
I don't want, no, I'm not gonna let myself be vulnerable. And here I am on a podcast, being super vulnerable.
Welcome to Fork in Your Ear, where we get really fucking raw about how everything sucks.
Yeah, especially today. Last night, I mean, when we got home, we had to get Pete. We still have Pete.
Yeah.
We have to make sure he's taken care of. So we went and we had to get him puppy pads and cleaner for when he has accidents, because he's still being housebroken. He just needs to work on it. Like he's getting better.
Yeah.
As he's sleeping through the night and all that. The crate training is taking over. So we didn't go home. We went straight out, because we know if we went home we would break. Yeah. Because that's where she was. Mm-hmm. She was like I say, she was the best dog I've ever had. Like Pete has big paws to fill, and Pete has big paws now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like we're not comparing. Like that's the thing we told. Like Jess and I agree. We're not comparing Pete to her, because we can't. Yeah. If we compared Pete to her, there would be no. We would be like, oh, Pete's not her. Pete's not Belle. Pete's not Belle. Mm-hmm. And so we went out. We got food. We talked about the sushi we had, and that was funny. You were like, "What kind of sushi, like, buddy?" Trying to I knew what you were doing.
It's disgusting. You like lobster on your sushi.
Is it? It's disgusting. You don't like lobster, sir.
Yeah, I just don't like lobster. I don't know what it is.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. You don't like lobster. She we went out. We kept her mind. Jess broke a couple times because she looked back in the back seat of the car and started crying because that's where she was.
Yeah.
And we got home, and Pete reacted, and then we lost it because he was looking for her.
Oh man.
And as much as he antagonized her and fucked with her and drove her nuts, I think deep down inside Pete loved her.
Sure.
He was her pack.
Yeah.
She was in his pack. He they were pack mates. They were there. He started looking, like I said, he was looking for her, and he was looking behind doors. He was looking behind everything. He was looking behind us. He was just trying to find her.
Yeah.
And he started he doesn't, I don't know if you knew this, but Malamutes don't bark.
Yeah, you were telling me that.
They make a noise, like they talk, but they don't bark. And he was like, he was calling for her.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I look at Jess, and Jess is all teary-eyed, and she's like, he's calling for her, Mike. And I'm like, I know, babe. And he's like, she's like, he doesn't understand she's gone. I'm like, why would he? How would he understand that she's gone?
Yeah.
He doesn't have a concept of that. Like, all he knows is his pack mate's gone. And she's like, and she was like, I don't know. I don't want to feel like this. And I'm like, I know, babe. Because a little inside info, Pete was her first, I'm sorry, Bella was her first dog she's ever had. Pete is the first puppy she's ever had. So, to her, Bella was, like she was to me. She was special.
Yeah.
And this morning, well, last night when we went to bed, we usually open the door and go, come on, Belle, to call her to bed, to tell her to come to sleep. Jess did that last night and realized she wasn't there and cried. And then this morning when I got up to record RNG, I usually get up, and because Jess is sleeping, I don't want to wake her up.
Yeah.
I tap my leg. The come here, that basically. And I did that and realized, oh shit, she's not here.
Yeah.
So it was rough, man. It's been a rough go. I mean, I know grief gets better. I know that. I mean, fuck's sake, I lost my dad. I know it gets, after a while, it gets less raw and it gets easier to handle and all that. But right now, it fucking sucks, buddy.
Well, I'm glad you have Pete though, and you got Pete when you did. For us, when Bailey was put down, we didn't have another animal for 6 months.
Ooh.
And let me tell you, like, those were not, like, everything would be going along fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, mom would, like, fill up Bailey's bowl.
Yep.
And call him for dinner. And then we'd just all look at each other and be like,
he's not here.
Yeah. And then at 6 months, I think we were having dinner at a dinner table, which is not something my family does, by the way.
Oh, you don't either?
No, it's not a thing in my family. Like, maybe when I was, like, super little, but not when I was a teenager, And we're all real quiet. And it's just quiet. And then my dad just, like, goes, this fucking sucks. Let's go get a new dog. Like, right fucking now.
That sounds like an awesome dude. I'm gonna be honest with you, buddy. Your dad sounds like a fucking awesome guy. Like,
I mean,
this fucking sucks.
I mean, that's a whole can of worms in its own right.
Okay.
Like, I have a love my dad, but I hate him thing. So
let me tell you something.
But he has his moments, sure.
Before we get, to keep on this whole sad bit, I hated my dad for a while because he was an addict. I mean, he was an alcoholic. That's what he was. And
that sucks.
As a kid, if you grow up with an alcoholic dad, you realize, like, you don't get the stuff everybody else gets. Your dad doesn't come to your soccer games or your wrestling matches or anything like that. Your dad isn't around. Alcohol's the most terrible legal drug there is. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
like, it's
you won't get an argument from me about that.
Yeah, exactly. Knowing, we both have that. that bit about us because I had a problem.
Yep.
But he, after you knew my dad was a double amputee, right? I did tell you that.
No.
Yeah, my dad was a double amputee.
How the fuck does that work?
He had bad circulation because of the alcoholism and got
Jesus.
gangrenous.
That is some hardcore alcoholism. If you have to get your
buddy.
shit amputated because your circulation sucks.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
It originally was going to be a toe, and then it turned into a foot, and then it turned into below the knee, and then it turned into both legs. And
Jesus.
my son, being my son,
Yeah.
the doctor was like, how tall were you? And my son goes, I don't know, he's 2 feet shorter now. I'm like, fuck. I just looked at him like, you fucking little dick. like, come on, you fucking asshole. Come on, dude. And my dad started laughing.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good joke right there. I mean,
yeah. And then I realized that when my dad was, once my dad was sober, I had him for 2 years sober.
Yeah.
Before he passed.
Yeah.
And I realized
how old
that
is he?
I was, what?
How old is he?
56.
Okay.
It was 4 years ago.
Okay.
And he was, I know where I get everything I am from. Like, I am, like, how some people like, oh, you're just like your mom, you're just like your dad.
Mm-hmm.
I am split down the middle 50-50, my mom and my dad.
Okay. I
have my dad's like mannerisms and his little quirks and weirdness, and I have my mom's like sensitivity and the fact that I don't care. Like, I'll tell you how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
That's my mom. My mom will look at you and be like, you're an asshole.
Oh yeah, my mom does. My mom is straight up, same way.
Yep.
She gives no fucks.
She'll look at you and be like, I don't like him.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, why? He's an asshole. Huh? How do you know he's an asshole? I don't know. He's just I can just tell. All right, cool, Mom. I go by what you say.
That's so funny.
But yeah, we're getting everything back. And like I was saying, buddy, once you might love him and hate him, but when you don't have him around, it is, yeah. Like, I have the last text message my dad sent me and the last voice message he sent me saved. Like, I will never get rid of them. I have the phone and the phone's not active. It's just saved.
Oh man. So I guess we're gonna open this can of worms. Might as well. Let's just do it.
Fuck it, we both cried already.
Okay, so real truth on the show here. So
we should call this episode Secret Time.
I was thinking, well, yeah, we could go with that. I was actually thinking of calling the episode Everything Sucks. But whatever, sure. So here's like the full, this is probably the most raw you'll ever hear me, especially since it's my own show. Anything I don't like, I can cut out. But I don't usually cut things anyway. So
no, nothing. I'm the same way. I wonder who I learned that from.
So I'm a few months away from being 30. And I was raised as a homeschooler in Boy Scouts, Made the Eagle, and things like 4-H. I went to a private school for 2 days a week because there's a thing, at least in this state, where you gotta have some kind of thing, even if you're homeschooled or whatever. My mom did all the schooling, and my dad worked and provided for us. And I will never not say that my father hasn't been a very good provider. Was my father like around for me? I guess. I don't know. It's a weird thing, and it's complicated. And truthfully, like, I remember many arguments between my mother and him about especially as I was getting older, being homeschooled about, me learning like maths and sciences and stuff. And that was supposed to be sort of his job as
Mm-hmm.
father to do because he is the one who's good at math. He was a frickin' chemist in Canada at one point. So, he knows some stuff, And he came to America and he started his own business in selling and servicing ADA, which is Americans Disability Act automatic doors, you know,
Yeah.
and a business that he's done for 38 years, I guess.
Oof.
And, and there was always these arguments. I remember specifically when I was 14, that like he needed to take over the math because like mom wasn't great at math. I think she's a good teacher, she's my mom, she's a cool mom, I think, you know. But like I was never, still to this day, I'm never good at math. I don't necessarily blame my father for that or anything like that. I don't necessarily blame that. I just know that it is a thing that was agreed upon with those two as my parents, and that he didn't, you know, he didn't. I think he tried a couple of times, but the thing with my father is he is the worst teacher I have ever met in my life. Like, so bad. Like, so my favorite comedian growing up, and still to this day, is Christopher Titus. And
I did know that. We did
yeah,
mention that.
yeah. You've heard his stuff, right?
Yeah.
And he talks about his alcoholic father, and he has a line in there about how women suck at raising kids, and you should all be raised by your alcoholic single working father. And he said because his words were that a mom will give you knowledge, and your dad will make you earn knowledge.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
So my dad was both of those things, and it was a horrible fucking nightmare cocktail.
Yeah.
And he's the type of guy who knew how to do something and would tell you how to do it, tell you to go do it. You'd start to go do it, and then he would say, "You're fucking it up. Just let me do it." And it's my opinion that that's no way to fucking teach a person.
Nope. Let them make mistakes.
Fucking let them make the mistakes. Let them fucking figure it out. Like
I let my son make mistakes. I let him, like, he wants to do something. Cool. Go ahead. Try it out.
Yeah.
If you fail, you fail. And then, like, that's his big thing. Like, what if I can't do it? Well, then you can't do it. Well, what if I can't do it? Then you learn.
Yeah.
Like I tell him all the time. I'm sorry, Tim. Go ahead.
It's okay.
I got more more dad things, because knowing what you know, and then when I tell you what I'm about, what after you get your your little your point out, you'll be like, huh?
Okay.
So go ahead.
So, I always thought that was terrible, and it's a quality he still holds to this day.
Ugh.
So also truth time. And I've never said this before in a podcast, I don't think. I maybe said it once, like a long time ago, but it's still unfortunately true. So a few things. One, when I was 14, as dad's way of showing me the world, for a couple of days of the week, I would just go work with him. It was conscripted. He's like, "You're coming to work. Pay you, a small, stipend because you're underage and stuff, but you're coming to work, and that's just it. Nope, no buts about it. You just fucking coming to work." And so when I was 14, part time, I started working in my father's business. And there's a couple of spells here and there where I didn't. But ultimately, today, I still work in my father's business doing automatic doors. So I've been more or less doing automatic doors on and off since I was 14.
Yeah, so you know what you're doing.
Which is a really long time to be doing anything, really, I think. And also truth time, just because of the weird way I was raised and how I got paid and stuff, like, I it feels weird saying this on a show because I don't know. I always feel like when people hear it, like it makes me feel lesser, I guess, and I sort of
Mhm.
justify it by, well, it allows me to do things like what I'm doing right now in podcasting or gaming or other things that I wouldn't be able to do elsewhere. So I still live with my folks. Like, they're upstairs right now, which is a thing. This is, in fact, still the same house that I was just talking about where Bailey, was cobbling down the steps. Except it's paved now, and there's different shit and all this stuff because I've been living here since 19. When did GoldenEye come out? 96? Whenever GoldenEye came out, because that's when I remember.
I want to say yes, 96,
Yeah,
but I could be
yeah.
wrong.
And and from like a personal perspective, I think yeah, it sucks. I'm 30. I don't have my own place. But on another perspective, the rent's cheap. I mean, it's not real cheap, but it's.
I always have food.
I wouldn't say that. No, I buy my own food.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, no, all I own food, own phone, own internet, and then things like heat and water are just stacked onto the rent.
Mm-hmm.
So on the one hand, it's afforded me to do a bunch of creative things like write a book and do fucking years and years and years of podcasting and do streaming and all that sort of stuff. On the other hand, um, at various points, depending on the day, it still sucks living with your parents. I mean, that's just lame, and that's also true time. That's one of the few things that was one of the funniest things about when I got together with my Jessica, and I was like telling her this on our first date.
Like, I
And
live with my parents. Please
yeah,
don't judge me poorly.
yeah, and then she was like, "Well, I still live with mine."
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah,
That's crazy, dude.
yeah. And then she's like, "Yeah, I still live with mine, but it's a little different. Like, I just moved back in with them 6 months ago because I had this crazy roommate, and she was like, always trying to make me pay for things that weren't part of my agreement on the rent, and I just had to get out of there." She's like, "So I was living on my own." She's like, "Don't you forget that." I was like, I won't. No judgment, So,
Don't you forget it.
well, I always think that's a funny thing because it's
Yeah.
still the case, that
Mm-hmm.
that's a thing, for both of us, really. But anyway, the reason I was getting to that was because, so as people probably heard, last year was one of the toughest of my life because in March, well, first of all, before March, Uncle died abruptly. And he had actually lived with us on this property since 2005 because he had like 9 mini strokes and like couldn't speak and needed constant care. And in the end, he was self-sufficient. He just couldn't really use his left hand. And he like went down to the hospital for like because he had like a pain in his stomach and because he couldn't speak. It's really hard to
talk when they have a stroke.
Yeah, and he couldn't learn sign language because I guess when you have that many strokes, it fucks with the wiring in your brain.
Mm-hmm.
So if you tried to teach him stuff, it would be interpreted weirdly or wrongly because just like it's wired wrong.
Yeah.
And like I can remember the one time I heard my Uncle Fran speak since all of his strokes, and we were like watching TV, and I pointed at a remote, and he said the word remote, and I remember muting and pausing whatever the fuck we were watching, and he was like, I was like, "Did you just say the word remote, and he just has like this drop jawed, like, holy shit, I said the word remote.
Oh yeah,
like kind of thing. I was like, can you say it again? And then he kept trying, and he just couldn't. You know.
it was the right place at the right time. The wires crossed, and just yeah.
Yeah. I guess one could compare it to like if you had wiring in a ball and they were kind of loose, and so every once in a while they'd hit the right circuit. I guess.
That seems that's about right when it comes to your brain, because your brain's just one big old ball of energy.
Yeah, but anyway, so then he went down to the hospital because he had stomach pain, and they kept him over a weekend. And then they said they had to do surgery because he had some sort of bloating or something. And then he was in an outpatient recovery facility because they had like, I don't know, they'd like stapled some part of some sack of something in his abdomen together or something because of something. I don't know. And then
something got stapled.
And I remember because it was A, not too long ago, and B, it was just immediately after dinner of my parents meeting Jessica's parents.
Oof.
And they had literally just walked off the porch. And I was turning my Jess. I was like, well, nobody killed each other. That's good. She's like, yeah. Then there's a phone call. And it was the, you better get your asses to the hospital right now. We don't know if Fran's going to make it. And then we got down to the hospital. And we were on our way there. And then, like, the code blue thing happened. And then, like, everything just went downhill from there. And then he died that night, which was super, super weird because, like, me and Dad had talked about, like, getting him out of the outpatient facility, like, the next day. And that just never happened. And, and so he died there. And that was a huge shock because it was like, on the one hand, he did not have the greatest of lives after 2005 or whatever.
Yeah.
But as his only other relatives in America, because as I've said before, I'm half Canadian, my dad's Canadian, Brandon is Canadian, even though he got an American citizenship and all that stuff. Other side of our family is like fucking far away, like north fucking Midwest Canada. Like they ain't coming down. Like that's like it's like a day of flight or several days of driving or whatever. And so Fran was the eldest brother of the Trotters, and Dave was second oldest, middle oldest. I don't know. There's like fucking 9 kids in that side. I lose track of them. There's uncles I haven't even met, man.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I hear they're bad people though. So, like, but whatever.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, you have that many people, you're gonna have some bad eggs, I guess.
That is true.
But anyway, so then Fran died, and that was a huge shock. And it was bad and stuff. And then I remember, speaking of checking boxes and ashes, like on the one hand, we knew what Fran had wanted, like in his death and stuff, which wasn't ashes. He just wanted to be toasted and done. But on the other hand, we knew Grandma Trotter would want some fucking ashes over her dead body. So we're like, okay, well let's do that then, since it happened suddenly, and all this sort of stuff. And I guess they like lost, I don't know, the ashes or the body or something. And it was like fucking 5 months
cool.
Before there was like a box of his ashes or something. Like, and I remember specifically my dad had this phone call like a couple days after, like, what the fuck do you mean you lost him? Like who fucking does that?
Yeah,
I guess
we lost him.
Yeah, like I don't know. So, but then that wasn't the most immediate problem because like 2 weeks after that, my dad was scheduled for heart surgery. My dad had been having heart problems since, God, I don't know, 2007 maybe, or something. And he'd seen a bunch of doctors previously, like the last 2 years, because like he had like a thing where I guess like his body doesn't do salt or something. So anytime the salt content got too high, like water would just like get soaked into the skin and it would press around the heart, like compressing the heart. I forget the term for it, you know. And so um yeah, so he went in for heart surgery, and what became, hey, I need you to run the business for like a week, um became, I basically ran the company business until sort of mid-September, I guess. Because the heart surgery went well, but my dad was massively overweight, and his airway in his neck collapsed during surgery.
Ugh.
And according to the people, because it was done at University of Washington Medicine, which is not the one where they have all the trainees. It's like the fancy ass one, like the best in the state, I guess. Um, which was good on my dad's part, because he's like, I don't want to fuck around if I gotta go under the knife, Um, and according to the surgeons, because I talked to them, they're like, yeah, so apparently it's never happened in medical history that somebody's airway has collapsed during heart surgery. Like, I guess that's just never happened, apparently.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I guess he's in the medical books now forever. um and but anyway, so he was in the hospital for like fucking 4 months, man. And during that time, my buddy Jeremy had just happened to come back from um Australia, where he had been working as a luxury yacht engineer mechanic, which is a funky ass job, but whatever. So he'd been sailing on the high seas for like the last like fucking 6 years, and he needed some work, and I needed some fucking help, and so he still works with us to this day. But the reason I bring all that stuff up is, I think fathers are, and I realize it's oxymoronic because we have a father on our podcast here, Mike. I think
Speaking as one.
I think being a father is just, it's one of the hardest, most difficult things to do as a human or person who is trying to be, I guess, human. And so, like, I remember the phone call from my mom, and I was working a really huge job too at the time, which really sucked as well. And she was like, "So, heart surgery went good, but other shit happened. He's got to be here like a lot longer." They did a emergency tracheotomy, and because my dad is super fat, um, like, because I guess tracheotomies work like an ear piercing, and so like you pierce it, and then you have to like step the sizes up, I guess, as you go. And he, I guess, had the biggest motherfucking pipe available in medical science, and so even once he recovered, it would still be like months of this tracheotomy thing, and it being downsized to smaller and smaller tubing. Because I guess the fear is if you go big size and then you pull it out and
It
let your neck
collapses.
heal, it'll like heal wrong, or shit will fall into other tubes, I guess.
Okay.
Because I guess there's like 3 tubes in your neck.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a breathing tube, which is different than your stomach tube, which is different than like
There's
your vocal
two bloods.
tube, I guess.
2 blood and 1 air.
Yeah. So, and I remember like I remember being very nervous about him going into surgery because this is going to be kind of weird to say publicly, but like, so I'm still not great at math, and I'm super not great at doing electrical wiring, which thankfully my job requires very minimally, and also doesn't require electrician's license because of the type of job and grandfather certificates and all that sort of crap. But I'm not good at it, and I knew there was a bunch of that stuff that father's name is Dave. Dave knew or knows. And if he kicked it then, I would be left holding the bag. I mean, I was still left holding the bag. And thank God, I had my good buddy Jeremy, who is a fucking engineer. So he can literally figure out just about anything under the sun. It's pretty awesome and amazing. God bless Jeremy.
That's handy to have.
Yeah, no shit, right? How fortuitous was it that he just happened to come back from fucking Australia a week before my father's surgery?
Being a fucking engineer.
Right? Yeah. And a good one, too. Not a shitty one, either. And so when my dad went in, part of me was like, my motherfucker's going to die and is going to leave me holding the bag and the family and the business. And because of his inability to teach me things and just wanting to throw me at things but then also take it away, I'd be fucked. I would just be fucked. And obviously I'm not fucked, as I'm still here, and the house is still here, things are paid for, all that sort of jazz.
You seem to be quite good at what you do.
I wouldn't say I'm quite good. I'm saying I'm pretty all right, I guess. But, in terms of like, what he did with me since I was 14, it was we got in a van and we went out and we did stuff with metals and screws and doors and all that sort of stuff. And so, which I don't recommend to anybody ever, is learning purely by osmosis. You know, like,
doesn't end well.
You need understanding of the words and a practicality and a little bit of science and a little bit of math behind all of that stuff. Like, I'm not great at fucking fractions. What the fuck do you think construction is? Like thank God there's fucking iPhone apps and shit, and all that sort of stuff. And that sucks, because it's like, on the one hand, someone could say like, well, why don't you go out and like learn it? And then on the other hand, it's like, well, when would I do that if I'm trying to maintain a house and a business and a family and a father who's been hospitalized and hasn't, for himself as, big man on campus, allowed the transition to be smooth?
Yeah.
Like, what do you don't have time for that shit. So for the better part of last year, I had to just sort of make shit up as I went. And I gotta admit, the first 2 months or so, where it was kind of touch and go with Dave, were extremely scary, and I was overworked and I wasn't eating right, but I was still getting stuff done and I was barely sleeping. And really, I think if I didn't have my friend Jeremy there with me, and we would get into fights and stuff, mostly because we were both tired, and he was helping and all this sort of stuff. And I don't mean just helping. I mean helping as a friend, but also, like, motherfucker got paid, like, wasn't a lack of paying. There's definitely a lack of figuring out how the fuck to get paid, because I'd never figured any of that shit out before.
Yeah, I've never done a fucking books. I've never paid anybody out. Yeah, I know how you feel.
I had no idea. It was fucking awful. But I think probably by June, during that whole trial by fire, I felt pretty confident and stuff about like the way things were doing, and like business was coming in and we were still getting checks and like all this sort of stuff. And it's so funny to see what a man does when faced with death. And using my own father here in literal, real analysis, I don't have enough hands and fingers to count the number of times that he has called me a pathetic, worthless piece of shit and, stomped on any of my creative ideas or dreams or any of that stuff, because that's just not the type of man he was or is. I don't know why I keep saying was. I mean, he's fucking upstairs. You know what I mean? God damn it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So, and that I think is not great for, and I'm not necessarily trying to make myself a victim. I definitely firmly believe, you can change just about anything if you want to, and you can get out of any situation, and, you are responsible for your own condition. And I guess really the bitching point for me is I felt at effect and uncausative of the position I had, rightly or wrongly, knowingly or unknowingly put myself into, of running this business, and with this guy who just spits vitriol at you all day, and says you're doing things wrong and all of these sorts of things. And sometimes it weighs on me, sometimes it doesn't, but that's the circumstance I stand in. And it's so weird because I bring up the deathbed thing because it's like there's so many times where, and going to the alcoholic father thing, like my father's never an alcoholic, but his father was, at least, I only remember Grandpa Trotter maybe 2 times before he died. And he was nothing but nice to me. But my understanding from my mom and my father was, he was a belt beater. He was a fucking schemer. He was this fucking terrible person.
Yeah.
And I'm just not entirely sure that my father as a person ever fully got away from all of whatever horrors he endured, and I think he's probably only hit me a handful of times, but those were usually because I was doing something bad, like a spanking or like, and all those times he realized what he had done, and you could see the profound effect it had on him because by all accounts, that's what he got all the time, And I think this whole sort of like progression of progeny and like passed down of these like horrible things, like should I ever have kids or whenever I have kids, I don't want to pass any of that stuff on. Like, I want to fucking start from a fucking fresh fucking plate, because especially during my dad's younger years, there's a lot of things to admire about him. Like he's a very hard worker. He started this business. It's been successful. I remember when I was much younger and we were living in like a trailer park, like an actual trailer, not like just a mobile, which is on the ground and built into the ground, but like a motherfucking trailer, and like we were super poor. Like that, those were real things, and then slowly and surely we rose out of that to sort of the middle-ish to upper classes, depending entirely on how good the financials were that year. Like I remember times in this house, which is a pretty nice house on an acre property, where like we ate our canned goods for like 8 months, and at the same time, I also remember like, steaks and Red Lobster and like all that sort of stuff. And it's such a funky thing. And I think really, having been doing it since I was 14, construction is so funky because it can be so lucrative and then it can't be. Like last 3 months of this year have been the worst 3 months I've seen in like fucking, I don't know, 5 years, I think.
Oh, Jesus.
What does that beep mean?
That was the phone that I was speaking about just went off because it reconnected.
The phone you were speaking about? What?
Yeah, that has my dad's final message on it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like it's a separate phone?
Yeah. It's not my iPhone.
Oh. What are you doing with that, buddy?
It's on the shelf next to it's on the shelf next to my dad's wallet. I keep it charged.
Oh.
So I can listen to it.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it's full. So
yeah. Oh God, getting so fartherly here. Like, so it's like on the one hand, I know he's done good things. On the other hand, there's a lot of caustic and toxicity, you know? Like, I remember when I first got Xbox Live and it was toxic as fuck, and I was like, oh, this ain't nothing.
Come on.
This ain't nothing.
I can take this.
This ain't nothing. They're on the other end of a fucking phone, basically. I got one next to me. But, you know, I bring up all the bad because when I remember the third day after his surgery and it had gone horribly, or at least part of it, the extra surgery did go horribly. And my mom was talking to me and she was saying, like, so Dave's asking to see his son. And I remember those specific words because that, you know, it's not the relationship we have, you know, like, doesn't fucking call me son. I don't fucking call him dad.
I noticed you call him Dave.
Yeah. You know, and it's, you know, it's not like I'm adopted or anything. Like, he is my father. He's my biological father, you know. And I think much like, it's so funny. I remember reading this analogy of, you know, not even analogy, analysis of In the Last Jedi, right? Spoiler alert. Everybody's fucking seen it now. Get over it. When Rey is talking to Kylo Ren, and whenever she's thinking of him positively, like in the film, she calls him Ben Solo. But then as soon as he goes bad, she goes back to calling him Kylo. And I think it's very much the same thing with me and my father. Like, call him dad when things are going pretty good. And then most of the other times it's Dave. But no, like, mom called me and she was like, you know, he's asking to see his son. And I was like, he used those exact words. You know, like,
those are the words he used,
like, in complete disbelief, you know, because those are not words that I've heard often, you know. And, you know, and I told her, I was like, I don't want to see him, you know, like, he, you know. And I remember blaming him because, like I said, I didn't feel he had prepared me for any of this stuff that I should have been prepared for when I'm not almost 30, you know. And it's shitty to face, and I don't know, maybe you think less of me because of, I don't know. No. I have this perception that people think less of me when I talk about this.
No, dude, I no, not at all. The thing I had, I mean, you know, a positive about my dad when he was a double amputee, they told him he might not ever walk on his prosthetics because it is a long, painful, arduous process. And he was like, okay, all right. And the doctor was like, no, you don't understand. It hurts. Like, you have to get used to it and your body has to adapt to it. And he was like, all right, how long do you think it's going to take? And they're like, well, typically it takes, I think he said, like 2 years after you get fitted with them. So you could, you know, learn how to walk. And that motherfucker walked in 6 months. And I have the video, and like, my mom took a video of it, obviously, and all that. And she was like, here's your video of your dad. And I cry when I watch it. And he was also, I mean, you know, I'm a black belt in judo, right?
I feel like I've heard that before, but it's still surprising.
Definitely. Well, it won't be when you realize that my dad was but what happened was I was little. I was 8, and I got beat up at school.
Wow.
And my dad was like, "That's not ever going to happen again." And I'm like, "All right." He was like, "You're going to learn how to fight." And he wasn't lying. He was like, "I'm going to teach you how to fight. I'm going to teach you how to box. I'm going to teach you how to kickbox. I'm going to teach you how to wrestle. I'm going to teach you anything you want to know." And he's like, "Pick a martial art." And I was like, "What's this judo about?" And he was like, "I don't know, but I'll find somebody who does." And he literally found somebody who would train me. And I mean, I got my black belt, but I would do tournaments and all kinds of other stuff. And even if I won the tournament, he made me run. He made me run laps. When I was sitting around, he would make me run laps. He would make me run wind sprints with the trophy in my hand, like my first place trophy. Yeah, I won second once and cried in the shower. Like I turned the shower on, and I do that. I cry in the shower, like just what I've always done. And he walked it. I had my full gi on. He walked in the shower, fully clothed, everything on, crouched down, got in my face, and said, "Do you like how this feels?" I said, "No, sir." He said, "Never feel this way again." And I was like, "Well, that's what happened." And then, when I was at first, I hated him. Like, why would you make me run? I won. Like if somebody won, why would you punish them?
Yeah.
And then he, when I got older and after everything with him settled down, and he was telling me, he was like, "Think about it this way, Mike. You won." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Now imagine seeing, after you got beat by someone so terribly that you would you go out into the parking lot and see them running wind sprints holding the trophy. Imagine how they feel." And I'm like, "Wow." He's like, "You were in their head." I'm like, "Yeah, I was in their head, wasn't I?" He was like, "Yeah, you were deep in their head." He's like, "I know it sucked for you, and I know it was embarrassing to win and still have to feel like you're being punished." He was like, "I wasn't punishing you. I was helping you learn, like, there's going to be people who can beat you, but if you beat them in their mind, you win."
Sure.
And that's how I think about everything about life. If I can beat you before there's nothing you can't stop me. So that's we can move on to another brighter topics. I know you have a time sink, Tim, and we could talk about dads all day.
Yeah, I feel like we could talk about dads all day. One other final things on the dad things, because we could talk about it all day. I think, even though I've definitely talked quite negatively about Dave, like you just said, there are times where he has been very dad-like, Granted, those times are few and far between, horribleness and all that sort of stuff. But it's like, I remember, I don't know, 86,000 times where I wanted to quit the Boy Scouts. And then he's like, "You're not fucking quitting." Like, get your ass back in there and do it.
Yep. I've broken my hands 13 times, Tim.
Jesus Christ.
Six on the right, 6 on the left, 5 on the right. And it's from, getting a knee on it or punching wrong or all that.
Oh, man.
One of the tournaments, I broke it on the first throw of the first match.
Yeah.
And I ended up winning. And I remember him telling, like, I'm like, "Dad, I can't do this. Like, my fucking, like, I didn't cuss. I was like, my hand hurts. Like, if it was now, I'd be like, "Dude, my fucking hand hurts." And he was like, "Listen, you can quit." He's like, if you think your hand is broken, you can quit. He's like, or you could go win this tournament with a broken hand. And I just looked at him, and like, as a dad, I mean, you haven't experienced this yet, and if you have kids, you'll experience it. There's gonna be a time, it's like, I call it the put up or shut up moment. My son hasn't had it yet.
Okay.
But he has my mentality when it comes to stuff.
Okay.
Like, he did a group project, and they gave every kid a ribbon, and he was like, "What's this?"
Yeah,
he gave it back
dumb.
He gave it back to the teacher.
Oh, good.
He's like, I don't want this.
Good for him.
He's like, "I don't want this." And like, I've never let my son win anything.
Yeah.
Like, as a kid, hey, you want to race? Yeah. Boom, I book it. You want to play basketball? I'm dunking on him. You know, I will beat him until he can beat me in something.
I think that's a fair way to go about things.
Yeah.
I thoroughly intend, God damn it, my kid had better love video games, to just destroy him at Smash Brothers and fucking everything. You know, and like anything I can beat him in, yeah, I intend to, for sure.
He
I
FaceTime.
don't care.
He FaceTimed me today and was like, "Hey, Dad." I'm like, "What are you doing, buddy?" He was like, "I'm playing Fortnite." I'm like, "All right."
Is he playing on PS4?
I think he is.
Okay.
I think he has both systems actually. I don't.
Okay.
But yeah, he was like, "All right, Dad, I'll say I'm playing Fortnite." I'm like, "All right, buddy." He's like, "I'm in. And then he's like, "Do you have Fortnite?" I'm like, "Yeah." He gets so excited. He's as much as he's an athlete, he's also a gamer.
How'd you get again?
13.
Okay.
Well, he'll be 13 this year.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, he doesn't have that, oh, well, I get an attendance ribbon or I get a ribbon because I showed up. No. Not Dylan. If he wins, he gets a ribbon. If he doesn't win, he doesn't want he like I think if he knew he could cuss, he'd be like, I don't want this fucking shit. Get out of my face. And that, I mean, my dad always used to say, you show me a good loser, I show you a loser.
Yeah.
And it might not have been the most healthy thing to say to a kid, but it helped.
You know, there's something about that losing thing that's so losing and failure. I wholeheartedly agree. Again, spoiler alert, Last Jedi. You know, when Yoda shows up and is telling Luke, yeah, the Jedi fucked up. You need to pass on that we fucked up. Like failure is the greatest teacher, and you must pass that on. Most of all, I entered this writing contest on the book that I'm always pilfering or trying to sell, Citadel Rival. I entered into a writing contest for it. I didn't place, of course, but I got this email back with this article, and it was learning to fail better, and it might have been one of the greatest help things I have ever read in my entire life about learning to fail better. And I'd never really gotten that necessarily. I'd gotten fuck you, you're not quitting Boy Scouts, and thankfully I do thank him for pushing me through Boy Scouts and making Eagle and all that sort of stuff. And I remember especially because there's a point in Boy Scouts when you hit Life Scout. And the jump from Life Scout to Eagle Scout is monumental compared to the previous ranks.
Yeah, I know being an Eagle Scout's a big fucking deal, right?
Yeah.
It's...
Yeah, because it's recognized in the military. You automatically get, was it a rank or 2 ranks up and a pay bump, I think? Or something?
Probably a meritorious promotion.
Yeah, one of those things.
Yeah.
But it's like the amount of effort that you have to put in compared to the other ranks is way different. It's just so if you get to life, kudos for you. Good job. Had a good scouting career. That's fine. But if you make it to Eagle, you put in a specific X amount of effort compared to everybody else. Because there's a fucking committee that has to pass your shit. A personal committee that's if you don't make a certain character grade, your fucking character's judged, for Christ's sake. Let alone your project that you're doing for the community. All of that shit, you have to do all of that stuff. And yeah, I did all that stuff,
man.
But would I have made it if I didn't have my dad riding my ass like an asshole, but with good cause?
Yeah.
No, I would give up a long time ago. I built a fucking concrete monument to a fallen church guy at the church that my Boy Scouts was at with a flagpole and a memorial plaque. This dude who'd done a bunch of stuff for the church. And the church needed an American flagpole anyway. So I was like, well, let's make a memorial of this dude who did a bunch for the church. I don't know fucking hell how to make a fucking hole with concrete and rebar and what type of concrete was going to stand the test of time and fucking marble and all that shit.
What you learned.
Yeah, I mean, Dad putting on his business hat. He's like, well, I know some of these guys in construction and you can go to them. And so I did, and like, I still don't particularly remember what the fuck I did, but it's like, the guys that I went to were like, hey, you should do this, get this thing, and we did a test run of making the concrete cube in our garage, and one of the weird things about a Boy Scout Eagle project is like, you do all this stuff and you yourself are not allowed to touch any of the tools. You have to use your leadership skills to get like whomever you have gotten to volunteer to do the work, which is crazy in its own right. So it's like you're like micromanaging and you're learning how to be a boss, I guess, which is kind of wild. Anyway, I was going to say something else on that topic of... Oh, yeah. So for all those, millions of people who listen to our show who haven't read my book, because my sales are non-existent. If you read the like forward dedication, like I dedicated it to a bunch of people, but I honestly felt, despite my dissonant relationship with my father, that he deserved a credit in terms of my science fiction novel. Because if there's one thing that I learned from my father, it's a love of good sci-fi that's like hard sci-fi. Like it has science behind it. And even though he was really bad at getting me to learn things, I was a reader. And so I was able to get this great love of sci-fi from being like, oh, Robert A. Heinlein's Moon is a Harsh Mistress is like maybe one of the best science fiction books ever written and is entirely plausible and realistic because, the author contributed to make the fucking rocket that put people on the fucking moon. Like super realistic. And so, there's definitely things you get and can only get from people like a father, no matter your relationship, I guess, is what I was trying to bring it on an upswing because we've been so negative this whole thing.
I don't think we've been negative. I think we've been open.
I think we've been a little negative.
And I won't say vulnerable.
I'd say vulnerable. I feel fucking vulnerable.
We both.
I feel like we're live streaming. I'm naked on Twitch and about to get banned. That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
None of that is true, but
a little bit. We're not naked on. I mean, you don't know. I might not have pants on for all you know, but I get what you're saying.
I'd be a little insulted if you did have pants on.
Touché, sir. You know me too well. Yeah, but
okay. So let's fucking change topic here. I know what will get us out of this menagerie of life stuff. So, did you hear and or see that the second and final full-length Avengers Infinity War trailer dropped yesterday?
I heard.
Okay.
So but because I'm a producer at heart, I didn't watch it.
I'm going to make you watch it. So
that's why I didn't watch it, because I knew that this is something that we could go, hey, man, you're going to watch this trailer, and then I'm going to get crazy and happy about it.
Yeah, so I watched it. I'm not even going to lie. I've watched it at least 50 times already.
Oh, wow.
And I've watched at least 20 like reaction trailers and diagnosis trailers because A, like everybody, waiting for this particular Avengers film for 10 years. And B, just the shit-eating grin I got from everything. Like, just, it's so good. I'm pulling it up on YouTube now. We'll do the thing where I play it with the audio and you hear it in the sync and all that sort of stuff. And
we're good at syncing.
And it will make this podcast happy again.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Things get me sad about my dad, but like I only have happy memories now. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Okay.
Like true. Some things catch me off guard. Like any dad moment, I sometimes get choked up. Like in Guardians 2 with spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that got me.
Oh yeah, that got me too.
real touching dad moments got me. There was a Jake Gyllenhaal movie where he was a double amputee, and he stood up for the first time.
Oh
And
man.
I was talking to Jess, and I looked up and I saw it, and I started crying. I was like, "Fuck you, Jake Gyllenhaal." That's what I said. Okay.
Yeah.
And literally, the last text message I got from my dad said, "Be the tough motherfucker you know you are."
Oh wow.
Like he just,
That's
I don't
great.
even remember the context of it. Just be the tough motherfucker you know you are.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, Dad, And the voice message was, "Hey, buddy, just want to see what you're up to. I love you. Remember that." Because
Nice. That's
yeah,
a fucking
he made
that's a
he
good
made
way.
amends. He made amends at the end because he knew, like,
Yeah.
he was more there. He was there more for my sister, and I would dare say my younger brother than he was for me.
Mm-hmm.
But that was just because he had the time,
Sure.
And me being a dad now, working nights, when Dylan, my son Dylan, comes to, he lives in California. When he comes to New Jersey, I have to, I mean, I'm like, "Hey, buddy, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
I have some time before work." And then it's like, "Why do you have to go to work, Dad?" I have to pay bills, buddy.
Yeah.
We had you want to go play fucking laser tag, son? This is why.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I mean, we have a new place called Main Event that opened up
Okay.
in everybody knows I live in New Jersey, in Delaware.
Yeah.
And I mean, it has a 2-story indoor laser tag. It has rock climbing. It has zip lines. It has it's like a family fun park. It's not as good as David Buster's, I would say. I'm guessing. I haven't been there. I think I'm going next weekend, next Friday. We're gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'm looking forward to it because you say laser tag, I say I'm in.
Mm. Mm.
I'm bananas about laser tag. And how about Nathan Fillion tweeting out that picture?
Oh yeah. Fucking.
I was like, "Yo, don't tease me, Nathan
I
Fillion."
was so excited and then so disappointed.
Yeah, don't you tease me.
So, for those who don't know what we're talking about, since we're obviously talking about entertainment things now, Nathan Fillion, famous nerd culture actor, Captain Malcolm Reynolds of Firefly, and of course Rick Castle on the TV show Castle. He tweeted out these pictures of him in the Captain Malcolm Reynolds outfit from Firefly Serenity, and we're like, "What are you fucking doing? Tell us right now!" And he cock-teased us for about 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
Different shots, and then it turned out it's like a stint of him doing 4 episodes on some fucking ABC show called American Housewife, and he's cosplaying as Nathan Fillion, Malcolm Reynolds, and I'm like,
you.
Disney, just fucking bring back Firefly. Hurry up and get your sale through Fox through, and bring it the fuck back before any more of the cast dies. For Christ's sake.
Yeah, I mean, I would be 100% with that, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I would lose my shit if you brought back Firefly, because.
Yeah, and I don't even really care in what form. CGI series with the fucking cast acting with voices, because it's been some fucking time now. Disney animated show, like I don't a radio
Make it
show.
Clone
I don't
Wars.
care. Yeah, I don't care.
Clone Wars. I don't care. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, fuck it.
I have the trailer up, and I am at I am at 0. So
0, 0, 0.
0, 0, 0.
Okay, I have my sound on. You ready?
Okay. You want me to leave my sound off, or no? Right. Put my sound on so I can hear it as well.
I mean, you hear it through your thing, not through your.
Yeah.
You have your headphones or whatever in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I was just making sure because I didn't want the reverb, but we're pretty good at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so before we do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is also the two. Yeah, the one you sent me, correct?
Yeah, it should be 0, and you should be looking at an upside down New York.
I am looking at the upside down New York.
Okay, there you go. That's the right one. So before we do this, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much are you looking forward to this movie?
8.
Really? Only an 8?
Yeah, only an 8.
Yeah. Okay. So why is that?
I'm not going to be able to watch it for the first 2 months it's out, probably.
Oh, so it's
I don't
more
go to
like
crowded. I don't go to crowded theaters, so I
okay,
know better. Like
yeah, yeah. The theaters will be crowded for this one.
I don't go
I have
past. I
no
don't.
doubt.
The only movie I was super stoked for to go see, honestly, was The Shape of Water.
Really, you forgoed your
I
crowd
have.
fear for that?
I did. Yeah.
Interesting.
I took
Interesting.
Bella. Remember how I said it? Yeah. I took Bella with me
Oh yeah.
because of that.
Okay.
And it was it. I mean, I love Guillermo del Toro's aesthetic.
I will say I have never seen a Guillermo del Toro film I didn't like.
Yeah. Okay. I can understand. Yeah. Pan's Labyrinth.
Mm-hmm.
They're all good.
Yeah.
So just let me know when 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Or
Okay.
you want to finish what you were going to say?
Oh, I was just trying to get like your feedback on it. So the only reason it's lower. So like, do you care about all of the Marvel Cinematic characters at this point?
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
which one do you care the most about?
I think we Guardians.
Okay. Okay.
I think that might be my number one in the series in the set. I love Guardians.
Yeah. What about your number 2? I remember you saying Doctor Strange was pretty rad.
Doctor Strange was rad. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Doctor Strange is up there. Then I mean Thor Ragnarok got me too, because Thor Ragnarok was fucking fantastic.
Yeah, it was. That was exactly what that series needed.
Yeah.
It needed to be a rock and roll space comedy.
Yep.
And I know some people disagree on it, but honestly, you know, if you think about it, Thor, over the course of 3 films, had 3 very different movies. Like, the first one was really, like, regal and traditional and Shakespearean. And then the second one was sort of, like, more, I guess, globe-trotting and sort of, like, backstory-y and stuff, and had good action. And then the third one just needed to be something different, I think, personally.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways.
The first time we played the trailer, and when I saw Thor on the Milano, I was like, okay, word, okay, good.
Yeah. So I got to tell you, like, I'm so ridiculously excited for this movie. And when I watched the trailer yesterday morning, I was not prepared for this trailer. Like,
really,
this trailer, it gave me chills. It gave me thrills. You know, I don't want to overhype it or anything, but I feel like it's kind of hard to overhype something that's had 10 years of hype building to it. And what you see, the other great thing about this trailer is it doesn't have any of the footage from the other trailer, like, which is also boss as shit. So, anyways, let's just do it. You ready?
Count it down. Yes, sir.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
The entire time I knew him, he only ever had one goal.
Okay.
To wipe out half the universe. If he gets all the Infinity Stones, he can do it with the snap of his fingers.
That's a stone.
Just like that.
Tell me his name again.
Thanos.
Captain, he doesn't look like Ivan Ooze.
We got one advantage. He's coming to us. We have what Thanos wants, so that's what we'll use.
Let's talk about this plan of yours. I think it's good, except it sucks. So let me do the plan, and that way it might be really good. Wow.
The end is near. When I'm done, half of humanity will still exist. Perfectly balanced. As all things should be. I hope they remember you.
Black Order's in this. I got chills.
Wait for it.
I'm Peter, by the way.
Doctor Strange.
Oh, you're using your made-up names. Then I am Spider-Man.
Oh, we're using made up names.
Oops.
Yo, he has 2 stones, Tim.
Yeah.
He
And
has 2 stones.
And it looked like he had ripped off Iron Man's armor and was about to just fucking kill him.
Yeah.
And it also looked like he was about to kill Captain America.
Also looked like he was about to kill Thor.
Oh, yeah, that too. He's about to kill everybody.
Everybody's gonna die tonight. Everybody's gonna die tonight.
Yeah.
Which it's what I expected. If I could be 100% honest with you, it's what I expected. I expected there to be some deaths.
I think there has to be.
Yeah.
Because I think the one thing that this movie has to do is, and they kept seeing that, like, within the first 5 minutes, you'll know why Thanos is the deadliest threat they've ever faced. And I kind of feel like if he doesn't off some Avengers and doesn't get enough screen time, unfortunately, no matter how great all the action scenes are,
Doesn't matter.
I think this movie will have failed its purpose, unfortunately. It doesn't look like they're gonna miss those opportunities. It looks like they're going for all-out war with so many fan-pleasing moments, coupled with the biggest action ever. Okay, you sent me a YouTube.
I sure did.
So you've got a thing for me, I take it.
I do. Are you a fan of Harry Potter?
What? The results you want? Do you want to build your ultimate body fast?
I mean, this sounds like you.
Supercharge your workouts and transform your body
This ad.
in as little as 30 days.
30 days.
Legal steroid alternatives.
I can't stop it.
Fast results. No side effects.
I don't know why you can't.
It says video will play after the ad. I literally can't stop it. I've got another 30 seconds of this. Okay, well, you know what? I can do this. So suck it, ad.
Yeah.
Are
you a fan of Harry Potter?
I am indeed, and funnily enough, I haven't seen the trailer.
You haven't seen this trailer?
No.
Have you seen Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the first one?
Yes, loved it.
Okay. Have you been to Pottermore and been housed and been sorted? Do you know what Pottermore is?
Yes. Once upon a time when it first opened, yes.
Okay.
Which was a while ago.
I am that big in the Harry Potter, good sir.
I think we've established this because of, like, you know, your proposal and stuff to your girl.
Yeah. And actually, it's funny because this very morning, Des and I were talking about Fantastic Beasts and Harry Potter, and I let him know about Pottermore because you know from him being on last week's episode and us resleeving RNG cast or the entertainment and game section into the RNG.
Do you like that wordplay that I did on that?
Yeah, I loved it. That he is also, you know, he's starting to write. He's homebrewing a world for us to play D&D in. Yeah. So I let him know about Pottermore because Pottermore is Harry Potter on steroids. It's like, oh, you want to know about this? Well, here's J.K. Rowling writing from this perspective as this. Yeah. And he got sorted today. Okay. And I've already been sorted, you know, like obviously I'm a goddamn Harry Potter fanatic. Only makes sense, right? Surprise, surprise. I'm House Slytherin.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Not when you read what their core values are. It makes sense when you see it. Okay. Resourcefulness, cunning, you know, all that, self-preservation. The shit that kept me alive, basically. Des got sorted into Hufflepuff.
Oh, okay.
Which, if you read, like I said, they're really good at that. His Patronus is a cat. Mine's a sparrow, which is funny because I love Captain Jack Sparrow and pirates all day, every day.
Oh, yeah. We need to talk about the pirates, yeah.
His wand is made of, I think it was yew. Like you would. Mine's made of sycamore.
Like my dick? I had to go there. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Both of our cores for the wand are dragon heartstrings, which is funny because if you know the story, Voldemort and like wands that have the same heartstrings are considered like twins. Like it's real deep. But that's what we did at the end of RNG Cast. He did all that, and it was hilarious to see. Like we always say, because our birthdays are hours apart, and we're very similar but very opposites in the same way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just something I didn't know. Are you ready?
Not. I mean, I've got it queued up, but you begged the question of this Pottermore thing. So I remember doing it when it first came out. And I vaguely recall being sorted into Ravenclaw and saying, fuck that. And then I did it again until I got Gryffindor. I'm on it right now, and I think I'm just going to do it.
Fuck it.
Okay.
Do your wand and your Patronus as well. I can talk about. I'll talk about some entertainment news. All that good stuff.
Yeah. All right. I'm typing shit now.
There are some movies I will. I mean, I think for the next 3 months, there's movies that I might have to suck it up and go see and hope for the best. Infinity War, one of them. The next one, Solo movie, the Han Solo story.
Oh yeah,
I'm definitely gonna go see that.
I'm glad that I'm excited for that movie. I know I've already talked about it on the show, but I'm just glad that I'm not like this movie's gonna suck. Nope. And now I'm like, oh god, I want it to be good.
Also, Deadpool 2.
Yeah. I also love, again, on Deadpool, and I said it before, haven't really shown us a goddamn scene from the movie. It's just been joke trailers. And I think that's awesome because, you're not spoiling the movie. Like, the jokes, whatever they'll be, they will be fresh and hot and funny.
That's Deadpool, though.
Yeah, that's going to be good.
Deadpool is very, I don't follow the rules.
Okay, so I just verified my email address on Pottermore. Okay, so joining, be sorted, and discover your house. Begin experience. Okay, here we go.
Now you got to answer honestly, Tim. That's the
forest or river. I mean, what kind of questions? See, I'm gonna think too deep about these questions.
No, you gotta answer just.
Well, I'm saying just like river. I feel metaphorically is more true to me, but I've spent more time in a forest. The forests also have spiders. Spiders bad. So I guess I'll go with river. Oh, okay. There's questions. The troll has gone berserk in the headmaster's study at Hogwarts. It's about to smash, crush, and tear several irreplaceable items and treasures. In which order would you rescue these objects from the Trolls Club if you could? First, a nearly perfected cure for dragonpox, then student records going back 1,000 years, finally a mysterious handwritten book full of strange runes. I don't know about that. Okay, I don't like that one. Where's the other one? Okay, here we go. First student. No, not that order. I don't like that order either. Can I go? I want the one where I want. That's okay. I want. There it is. Okay. First, a mysterious handwritten book full of strange runes, then a nearly perfect cure for dragonpox, and then student records. Who gives a shit about student records? Okay. Then it says, what are you most looking forward to at learning at Hogwarts? Apparition and disapparition, being able to materialize and dematerialize at will. Kind of sad that they had to put that in parentheses there. I mean, if you're here, you've fucking read the books and you know words.
You don't know. You don't know what aspirate is. You're pretty much.
Yeah, every area of.
If you don't.
Yeah, every area of magic I can. Secrets about the castle. All about magical creatures and how to befriend and care for them. Hexes and jinxes. Flying on a broomstick. Transfiguration. I would just say every area of magic I can. I mean, it's all groovy to me. Like, let's do that. Okay, next one. Which nightmare would frighten you the most? Standing on top of something very high and realizing that suddenly there are no hand or footholds, nor any barrier to stop you falling. Oh, that happened to me this week. That was fucking scary. Being forced to speak in such a silly voice that hardly anyone can understand you and everyone laughs at you. Did that for years on podcasts before this. That don't scare me. But you have to find that neither your friends nor your family have any idea who you are. I mean, that would suck. I don't know, that terrify me or frighten me. And I at the keyhole in the dark windowless room in which you are locked. Oh, that's scary. That's definitely scary. Whoops. I accidentally selected something. How do I go back? I tapped wrongly. How do I go back?
Is there a go? I mean, I think you can window back, maybe. I don't.
Nope. Okay, so we're just gonna reload, and I'll click those things again. Oh, it won't let me reload. Oh, that's hardcore. I didn't mean to press that one though. I was trying to click the down, and I accidentally hit select because I was paying attention to the questions, not where my mouse
What was it?
I'm not sure what I selected. I was trying to go up so that I could get the keyhole one, but I think it did the heights one. And like heights definitely scare me, but I also, because of my job, have to confront them often.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they scare me, but I do them, But like a keyhole thing, like a horror game, like, I mean, I still haven't finished Resident Evil 7 in VR. It's fucking scary.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll just close the window. So fuck you, window. We'll try this again. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, home, Pottermore.
So
sorted and discovered.
Also, I've restarted watching Altered Carbon.
Nice.
It's my office, I think.
Nice.
Also, went on iTunes and purchased the soundtrack
to
Altered Carbon.
Oh, is it out?
Mm-hmm. Listen,
See,
that more human than human remix might be one of my favorite covers I've ever heard.
So that fucking pisses me off. So I don't listen to normal music. I listen to soundtracks almost exclusively. And every week I check iTunes soundtrack section. And I didn't see nothing about Altered Carbon in there. So I guess I'll search for it. Thank you for telling me now. Okay, so I logged back into Sorting Hat. And it brought me to a thing, but it's completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's saying moon or stars. So I guess I'll just do this then.
Yeah.
And obviously it's stars. Stars without a doubt. Okay. And then we have, that's interesting. It starts with a different thing.
Yes, you can't memorize them.
Let's see. Well, this one has the troll gone berserk. So.
Yeah, but you can't memorize what the outcome is.
Okay. Okay, selecting and a book, perfect dragon pox, and student stuff. Okay, there we go. Okay, different one this time. It says a mogul confronts you and says that they are sure you are a witch or wizard. Do you ask what makes them think so? Tell them that you're worried about their mental health and offer to call a doctor. That's fine. Agree and walk away, leaving them to wonder whether you are bluffing. Ooh, that sounds more my style. Agree and ask whether they'd like a free sample of a jinx. I'm going to do agree and walk away, leaving them to wonder whether you are bluffing. Yeah. If you're attending Hogwarts, which pet would you choose to take with you? Tabby cat. I'm allergic to cats, so I can't do cats. I like cats. Can't do them. Three-toed tree toad. Haha. Wordplay. That's silly. Harlequin toad. No. Dragon toad. What's with all these toads? Hatterjack toad. Common toad, barn owl, snowy owl, brown owl, screech owl, tawny owl, white cat, black cat, ginger cat, Siamese cat, tabby cat. Okay, so not really a fan of toads. I don't dislike. It just seems lame. So I'll go owl because I don't have problems with bird. My neighbor has a parrot. So we'll go snowy owl just because I like white critters. Reach out? Nope, that's too far. Snowy owl. There we go. Snowy owl. What kind of instrument most pleases your ear? Ooh, okay. Violin. I like the violin. Drum. Like the drum. Piano. Like the piano. Trumpet. Like the trumpet. Violin again. Oh, okay. Well, then that's no contest. Then it's piano. The reason I say piano is because, and I'm forgetting the name. The main composer of the Final Fantasy series. He had once said that piano was the best instrument for any musician because any music can be translated to and from it. So piano is the soul of music, and that's always stuck with me. So I say piano. Given the choice, would you rather invent a potion that would guarantee you love, power, wisdom, glory, love? It's only giving me 3 options here. So wisdom, glory, love, power. I guess that's 4 options. I would say wisdom Because, you know, with great responsibility comes great power. With great wisdom comes, I don't know, those things, probably.
I love how you're explaining your answers.
Yeah? Okay.
By the way, I picked violin.
Okay, I'm going to go with wisdom. Get any power, which would you choose? The power to read minds? Power to change your appearance at will? Power to change the past? Power to speak to animals? Power of superhuman strength? Power of invisibility? Power to read minds? See, being a big comic book person, all of these have problems with them. You know, power of invisibility, most invisibility powers, you gotta be naked. I'm not a fan of being naked. That means I'm cold somewhere, or, I become a peeping Tom, that I feel like that just ends up with the headline, Tim, invisible rapist on the loose, or something equally horrible. Power to read minds, if you let people know, you get locked up and people would abuse your power and that sort of stuff. And change your appearance at will. I mean, that one's not bad. I mean, I would be awesome at cosplay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's for sure. Change the past. That's a lot of dangerous things. But at the same time, as we were just talking about this whole episode, learn from your mistakes. Change the past. I'm going to go change the past. That's what I'm going to do. Black or white? I mean, I'm always partial to black as a color. I think white's cool too. And really, kudos to Star Wars Empire because they are black and white. So, they got it going on. What do the Jedi's got? They got brown and tan. Ugh.
Gray.
Yeah, that's dumb. So we'll go black. Oh, bitches, I'm Gryffindor, motherfuckers. That's what it says.
Yeah, well, that's what it is then.
Yeah, there you go.
Actually, all you have to do to go get in the Gryffindor is ask for it.
Well, I mean, I didn't necessarily.
Well, I mean, if you want to go by canon, by Harry Potter.
Yeah, sure. Anyways, let's do this fucking trailer.
All right. Are you at 0-0?
I don't know. I gotta get back to the tab. Oh. Go full screen here. I am at 0-0.
You should see green hills with some rocks, correct?
Fantastic Beasts 2, The Crimes of Grindlwold trailer.
2018, yes, sir.
And it's the only trailer so far, yes?
There's a teaser, but yes, this is the second trailer.
Okay. You want
to
do the countdown? And
it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, right?
Yes.
That's what we do?
Yep.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, that's Hogwarts.
Oh, yes, sir.
What's up, baby?
Did we just talk about motherfuckers teleporting?
We did.
I have some questions for you, Professor.
Ooh.
This is a surprise.
There's a rumor that Newt Scamander is headed to Paris.
Oh, yeah. Light clicker.
He's working
it's Dumbledore.
What do you have to say for yourself, Dumbledore?
If you'd ever had the pleasure to teach him, you'd know Newt is not a great follower of orders.
What the fuck is Wizarding World, TM?
That's the extended universe.
When you're gonna have to pick a side.
Hey, it's Fat Kid.
You going somewhere?
I liked him.
No, we're going somewhere. Jeez. I can't move against Grindlwold. It has to be you.
What's up, Johnny?
so dope. So dope.
Groovy. Oh, Jesus, what the hell?
Oh, God.
Pause. Nice.
Yeah.
That looks pretty fantastic. Not gonna lie. I mean, I'm excited. Like, I think the casting of those two characters, Grindelwald and
Perfect.
Dumbledore, I have no problems with that casting.
Not at all.
And
Actually,
I know there's been a ton of controversy about the Johnny Depp, playing it because of, the wife beater accusations and stuff, but he's been cleared of those, legally speaking. So there. And then B, we all know Johnny Depp, famously super alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
And he got clean, and his first clean film was Lone Ranger. Not his best performance, probably because he just got clean. But, there's nothing wrong, as anybody will point out to, like Robert Downey Jr., of having a bad past and trying to move forward and be a better person. So
also, he does crazy very well.
I mean, yeah, and he bitch loves his makeup. He loves his makeup.
So, he does indeed.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's exciting. I think, because fuck, when did the first Fantastic Beasts take place? It was like the 1700s or something like that.
No, 1930s America.
1930s? No. Anyway,
yeah,
it was early.
Yeah, it's right when it was probably right after. I mean, he was already Newt Scamander.
Yeah,
and I mean he did get kicked out of Hogwarts, so.
Yeah,
I mean, it's when Dumbledore was still a professor, so it was probably this movie probably is like 1940s before he. I mean, it's before he fought Grindelwald. I was about to get real nerdy.
Well, I was about to get equally nerdy because I love Harry Potter as well. Read the books many times. My only complaint, and this is purely from a book standpoint, is many times in the book it references Dumbledore being of questionable how old he is, and people in the books have often been like, well, he's like several hundred years old or something like that. And, obviously if it takes place in 1930s or 1920s or 50s or whatever, you got this young ass actor playing Dumbledore. And that begs the question of age of a wizard. But it's also a different cast, so it's sort of like semantics at the same time.
Yeah.
So there's that. You could get real nitpicky with it, I suppose.
I mean, he's gonna. They're both gonna act the shit out of that role, out of those roles, and plus you get to see Johnny Depp and Ewan McGregor acting off of each other because, as you know, Dumbledore and Grindelwald are very close.
Yeah.
They're actually, that's what made Dumbledore famous. It's the fact that he beat Grindelwald in a duel.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what I said that to my Jess, who is probably the biggest Harry Potter fan I know, and she literally texted me back, and I quote, "Yes, bitch."
And I'm looking at the comments on that the trailer that you sent me on YouTube here. And there's some really hilarious stuff here.
Also, don't read comments on YouTube,
folks. Oh, but they're so funny. Can I read some of them?
No, go ahead. I'm cool with it. I'm just saying.
One dude's like, I forgot Dumbledore was gay until he said I can't move against Grindelwald. Then another dude says, 10 seconds in, how many times do I have to tell you? You can't operate on Hogwarts grounds. Have you even opened Hogwarts of History? I like that. I like that one.
Correction, you can aspirate on Hogwarts ground if you have the approval by the council. Because if you remember correctly, when they went to go get Dumbledore, they aspirated there.
Yeah.
Once again, probably should have warned you. I am super nerdy.
Nice.
Because that was one of the. Jess was like, "Have you read the books?" I'm like, "No, I've watched the movies." She's like, "You should probably read the books." As I was reading the books, I'm like, "I missed so much."
Oh man, it's so true. Oh my god, these comments. That ending Harry Potter theme turned me on.
Deathly Hallows confirmed.
I think Dumbledore needs more beard. These are great. I see Hogwarts. I'm actually going to cry.
Am I the only one annoyed that Dumbledore is saying that Newt has to defeat Grindelwald?
Yes. So good.
Pack my trunk. I'm coming to Hogwarts. Oh, man.
Oh, and then this one dude. I'm so ready to see Hogwarts again in cinemas. However, one, what the fuck are they doing in the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom? Dumbledore teaches transfiguration. 2, operating within Hogwarts? Question mark. 3, forced nowhere to be seen. I get that it's CGI, but could you still like add trees? These are all the tiny things breaking the established lore.
Hey, dude, calm down, buddy.
Oh, that's so good. There's a lot on this can't operate in Hogwarts grounds. That's nuts.
You didn't read the books then, did you? If you watch the movie, then you believe it.
Oh,
you can't aspirate on the grounds, but you can, like I said, with and those guys looked like they were cops anyway, you know?
Yeah, that's true. It's also a different time, so the laws could have been changed.
Yeah,
or
I mean,
different magical things could have been changed.
Different headmaster probably had different protections on it, different wards and such.
Yeah.
Who knows? But it would be funny if the first thing out of his mouth is, "Hey, I thought you guys aren't allowed to aspirate on school grounds," and then they explain it. I'm like, "See, somebody read the motherfucking. Somebody should wait. Don't jump to conclusions, motherfuckers."
So I have a nitpicky thing because you keep saying aspirate.
It's apparate.
It's
right?
apparate. Aspirate is like
aspirate is to breathe in water.
I always like, what are you doing?
I always mess it up. It's
oh man. So it goes. So it goes.
Also makes you throw up when the first time you do it.
Yeah.
Harry, hold my arm. Oh boy. But if you since I now know that since we were talking about Harry Potter, if you look up the Super Carwin brothers, I'll send you a link. Okay. They do like theory videos.
Okay.
And it's fucking hilarious, man.
Nice.
They're like legit. Because if you've seen there's a new trailer, a new cast picture out, and Credence is sitting next to a woman.
I heard about that one already.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I read that one.
That she could be Nagini.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting as well.
I'm like, how do you turn a person into an animal? And then I'm like, wait, she could be an anime guy.
I think the Harry Potter answer is Voldemort.
Well, that and she could just be an anime guy.
Or, they just re-sleeved them into a snake.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, that never ends well.
No, it does not.
I'm actually looking for that book too.
Oh, of course you are. You searching the shelves right now?
I'm actually. I will find it.
Oh man.
But Tim, let me ask you a question, buddy.
Yeah.
Entertainment seems to be deeply in, and I know you have a time sink.
Yeah.
You have a hard cutoff.
Sure.
Dude, this goes into games and technology. Okay.
Oh, okay. Go for it. What do you got?
Because we play a couple games of Fortnite.
Yeah.
Tilted Tower drops all day, every day, son.
Yep. Doing pretty good too.
Either ends well or ends terribly, but it's always fun.
Or ends well and we leave Tilted Towers and then we die.
And then we die. And then if the circle ever lands on Tilted Towers, we're beautiful.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You sent me a nice little invite to the iOS.
Oh yeah.
I've played a couple matches.
Oh snap. Okay.
Yeah. I played a couple matches, and for a mobile version of a console shooter, it's really intuitive.
Yeah, agreed.
It's different though.
Sure, that is also true.
It's very different. It's like building is the hard part for me because you can't like editing and all that. Like I can't edit.
Oh, I have no idea how to edit. Placing is fine. And switching between your weapons and that stuff, but
that's fine.
Yeah.
Tap it. That's beautiful. Tap all day.
Yeah.
Played a couple solo matches, ended in the top like 20. I was pretty happy with that. I mean, I'm on a damn. I got earbuds in and I'm on an iPhone 7.
Yeah.
But that's really cool that they're allowing this.
Yeah.
Also, got you into a little bit of Paladins last night.
Yeah, I just wanted to double back a bit on that iOS Fortnite because I wanted to talk about it as well. For those who are like, what the hell, iOS Fortnite? So going on right now, Fortnite Battle Royale specifically, and only Battle Royale, is out on Apple iOS devices. Anything that's a iOS iPhone 7 or above can play Fortnite Battle Royale on your mobile phone. It's not open to the public yet. It's basically closed. I'm not even sure what to call it necessarily. So the thing about it is, it's not, on the one hand, it is totally a air quotes mobile version on your phone. On the other, it's not like it's not a different game. Like, it is the same game, 1-to-1, same as the PS4, Xbox, PC. You're just using it on a different device. Like your account stuff transfers. Like, I signed into PlayStation Network and all of my shit was there, all my ranks and everything. It will be, once it goes public, not right now, be cross-play with all available platforms. The only difference is PS4 is left out of the loop because Sony's still being dicks. But you will be able to cross-play against PC players, against Xbox players, and ultimately across those players plus Android when it also launches later this spring on Android. So it's very wild because it is the same game, but with a different interface, I guess would be the best way to describe it. Like, it is a mobile version, but it's not different in any way other than the user interface. And you're still playing with other players.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to get a Fortnite Battle Royale game going in your pocket while you're on the bus or you're bored, you fucking can. Like, we were playing Fortnite Battle Royale on PlayStation 4 last night, and one of the guys in our group, he's a school teacher, and we had to confiscate like 5 people's phones because they were playing Fortnite Battle Royale in class, which is kind of funny if you think about it. But yes, go on about your Paladins.
We were playing I asked him if he had Paladins. He said, yeah, a lot. A couple open beta runs ago, and now they're on 67.
Mm-hmm.
We logged on. We did a practice match. Had fun.
Yeah.
Tim is back into Paladins, and if you guys haven't known, I love Paladins.
And he talks a lot about it on the RNG cast, in addition to Destiny.
So Des and I both talk about it. We're both pretty deep into it.
Yeah, it's one of your guys' main games besides Destiny.
Yeah, we played a couple matches. It was late, so we played like 2 matches. Did a warm up match. It was. I'm just happy that you said you enjoy playing it and you want to play.
Yeah, I want
to get a team together, dude. Like, I want to get a squad together.
Okay, as long as I can play Cassie.
Oh, no, listen, you'll never have that problem. I don't think I know. I know one person who plays Cassie, and I'm talking to him right now.
Oh,
yeah.
Shit.
I tried to play.
Okay.
I tried to play Cassie, and I'm garbage with Cassie.
So, I mean, here's my thoughts on that, having played from the beta. So I remember playing the beta, and I remember just like cleaning shop with Cassie in the beta. And she's a attacker or damage person, and she's got a hawk, and she's pretty sexy, and she shoots a crossbow. And I haven't played this game in probably like a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. Whenever the last beta of the game was, where you had to get an invite, because I had an invite to this game from another friend of mine.
Yeah, you jumped right into it.
And what I can tell between, I guess, the way the game is now and the closed beta I played was, it still feels really good to shoot. It's 60 FPS now, which I don't remember being in the beta, which is nice. The graphics are crisp. The shooting felt good. And for me, who hasn't played forever, like, I picked it up as easy as one would pick up Halo or GoldenEye or like a Doom or Unreal Tournament, which is to say buttery smooth controls, and I felt like I had the accuracy of playing with a mouse and keyboard, which feels great for a shooter. You can't say that about every shooter, especially if you haven't played in a while. So it was really easy for me to pick up. My gripe against it was because I'll be honest, I spent an extra hour and a half fucking around with the menus trying to fucking figure out how to buy sexy cosmetic for my chick.
There's a lot. They did say that there's a couple bugs they need to fix on another pass.
Yeah, so I think the game is great once you're into it. I think the main menus and all that stuff is super bogged down. And this is coming from someone who's also played a significant amount of Smite. And yes, Smite has a bunch of user interface stuff, but their user interface got better before the games. And this is... they need to tone down their shit. They need to clean that shit up. I'm telling you, just saying. Like, I figured it out eventually, but there's too many menus that do too many specific things, and you should be able to get elsewhere from different menus, and you shouldn't have to like drill down through multiple menus to get to a specific thing. Like, that's definitely a barrier, I think, for anybody looking to get into the game. I didn't play any other hero because I didn't feel I need to, because I was mopping shop with Cassie. So,
I mean, I bought the Founders Pack, which gives you all the characters that ever come out ever, and I'm okay with that because I played Overwatch and I didn't like I don't want to say I didn't like Overwatch. I can see why people would enjoy it. I just didn't. I didn't enjoy myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This game I enjoy.
Yeah.
I enjoy this. You know what I mean? So, yeah. It's I'm happy to have another person to play, to game with. And like I said, you'll never not have Cassie. I mean, if I would say let's run some practice matches. That way you can get a couple extra characters. Because if you ever wanted to play competitive, there's a ban system.
Oh, okay. Cassie can get banned?
Either get banned or get taken. If somebody's ahead of you and they take it, then you're kind of asked out.
Okay, I see. Fair enough.
But yeah, it's an interesting, fun game.
For those who don't know, Paladins, and it's terrible to say this, Paladins is sort of the original Overwatch. They had the concept for what became Overwatch before Overwatch, and you can fall that back and people will say no and all that stuff. But it's factually true. Look it up. Look it up when Paladins was introduced, and it's a hero MOBA capturing a target and then pushing some sort of bomb into somebody's base type gameplay. And one could argue that it is very Overwatch-like because Overwatch is like Paladins. But guess what? Both of those games are also like Battleborn, which is also another MOBA shooter, and all of those games are also similar to, any other MOBA that there is. I suppose the distinction between Overwatch and Battleborn had towers. I guess the distinction between Overwatch and Paladins versus those is that those didn't have towers to take out, or lanes like Smite or any other MOBA. They just had objectives. I'd say the difference. But if you like those things, I think Paladins is a great... and is it available normally to download for free now?
It's free, yeah.
Yeah, so it's free with the rotational characters, and you can pay $20 to unlock all the characters.
You can also, if you don't want to spend any money, you can buy characters using the in-game currency that you get just for playing matches, the gold.
Yeah.
Because they have 3 currencies now. They have the gold, which is the in-game currency that you get for matches. They have the crystals, which is their premium currency. Think silver in Destiny, platinum in Warframe, so on and so forth. And they have VIP points because they have a VIP section, which has like the super exclusive skins that you can't get anymore that are limited. Like they have an Ice Walker Inara. which is one of the frontliners. It's the think White Walker from Game of Thrones. They have Clockwork, Steampunk. They always come out with new skins, and with their newest update, they are showing that the skins are going to be more artistic in design, as opposed to being like, oh well, here's a guy who looks like he can fight real well, a pirate or whatever. It's going to be more like they have I can't. It's like demonic. One looks very demonic. They're very. There's like a pirate one that one of the characters is the little guy that was kicking the shit out of you in the match that we played, Tim, that pissed you off. They have him riding a shark, like a shark-headed thing, as opposed to the two dragons. Like they're trying to make it more. Since you played Smite, I know the skins in Smite are really well designed and pretty. So that's what they want to do. They want to make it more Smite like. So if I can get off my high horse on Paladins, because I love this game and I think everyone should play it, so we can get a big old team together and kick ass and run shop. Damn. Huh, what happened? Huh. Happened. And as I get up, because Pete started almost scratching at the door, I can get back on the Paladins. If you add me, I will play Paladins with you, because Paladins, when it comes to a shooter, I don't like competitive shooters, but I get competitive when it comes to Paladins. Like in Destiny, I don't get competitive. But in Paladins, I get kind of competitive. So.
Pete.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah. Did you get that message? I kind of didn't send it.
No, I didn't. But I kind of talked a little bit, and then I realized I thought you muted, and I tried to get your like I thought we lost connection. I talked a little bit, and then I stopped talking, and then I got your message, and then I continued to talk. So there's a little cut action going, but it'll be okay.
Probably not gonna cut it. Sorry, listeners. I tried to text him. Be right back. Vamp on Paladins. I got a shit. And I wrote it, and I didn't hit return.
So you get to hear me sound real confused for a second. So, yeah.
Oh man, yeah. So no, I'm 100% down to play Paladins whenever you are available and we are available at the same time.
Oh yeah.
With the exception
of right now.
Well, yeah, and right now, and with the two exceptions then, with the exception of right now, and then anything post March 20th. Because you know what happens March 20th, don't you, Mike?
Oh, yeah, I do, my friend.
We
will be ruling the seas as pirate deities.
Yeah.
Pirates of legend.
Yeah. So, as you guys heard me talk about in last week's Fork, I played yet more Sea of Thieves, the final closed beta, because the game comes out on March 20th.
And I
super
watched you
fun,
play it.
excited. And Mike, I think, liked what I was saying about last week's show, but then you tuned into the Twitch stream that I did immediately after, which you can find on my Twitch channel, Tim_KA_Trotter. How would you describe... So obviously you've heard me talk about it. And how would you describe hearing me talk about it and kind of thinking about it in your mind and mulling it over versus seeing it in action? Like, how is your reactions? Like, I obviously built it up a bunch talking about it, but then seeing it.
But you were accurate, I would say.
Yeah.
It's totally open world, pirate fantasy, sandbox game.
Yeah.
And I love pirates. Like, everything about pirates, Vikings, I love that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Watching you pilot the ship, like, all I could think of was, oh man, I'm going to have so much fun firing cannons at people. Oh no, never mind. I can fire myself out the cannon and blast people.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to steal so many ships.
Mm-hmm. It's so good.
Yeah.
And the genius of all of that is you're playing, every pirate is a real pirate.
There's only the NPCs are only in like the social spaces, right? Like the shopkeepers and shit.
Yeah, the shop. My understanding is there's supposed to be NPCs like on the islands in the full game, but because obviously we've been playing server test betas at this point, so like there's content, but it's like we don't know quite how much content until the full game in a few days, because they've said you'll get like quests from like people on random islands, so that I guess is in the game. Didn't see it in the beta, but that's what they say. So
yeah. Also, there's a fucking Leviathan. There's a Kraken.
Yeah, a Kraken. The Kraken. Which...
Sorry, I forgot Leviathan is Earth and Kraken is water.
Yeah,
but...
I was about to say. It's like, what now? Is there a thing I don't know about?
It's the same thing.
But I do believe you got so excited over what you saw.
I'm gonna buy an Xbox for sure.
Yeah. Apparently you're buying one this week. Or, next.
Well,
I mean, if
next
we
Friday.
count Monday as the start next.
Yeah.
Before next week's fork, I guess. Which, by the way, we should probably say right now. Like, if you're getting it Friday, we should do the show. We should do the show in Sea of Thieves. I'm just saying.
It's gonna be a fucking a masked cast, as it were.
Yeah.
You like that one?
Masked cast. I like it.
I that just came to me in a bit of genius as it.
There you go, masked cast.
Yeah, it's a masked cast.
Yeah, and that's gonna be fantastic. It truly is. Truly is. It's gonna be great.
I mean, we can 2-man it and just go on a skiff.
Yeah, I mean, we can because there's also emotes to communicate to people, so we could still technically format it. Just the other people, no Mikeys. Yeah,
Mikey, no likies.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Or even by that time, I might have my crew coordinated enough. I could be like, "Yo, we're doing a recorded / live podcast through Twitch, probably. Y'all want to steer the ship, and we'll play second fiddle for a bit.
I will shoot people,
but it's great, and it also affords good podcasting time because it can be like we can talk podcasts, and then it can be like, oh, yo, the seas are getting rough. Tilt the masts. Incoming. Did you see towards the end of that Twitch there where we were in that huge battle with like 3 other dudes in big ships?
I might have had to go eat or something at that time. I could go check it out at Tim K.A. Trotter on Twitch.
Yeah, there's some underscores in there, but
Tim underscore. The underscores.
Yeah, not my fault. That's just what they wanted me to do. Because I guess you can't have spaces in your name.
Yeah, no. Buster underscore knuckle here.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I'm so looking forward to Sea of Thieves.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Yeah, my girlfriend Jessica played the beta as well with me. And as I think I've said before in the show, she's definitely a gamer. She just hates playing co-op games with me.
Which is weird.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like that considering we're a couple and we should be a team, you know. But she's like,
I don't like that.
yeah. I mean, like, it's like we were watching something the other day. I'm like, hey, what do you want to watch? And she was like, I want to casually look over at you behind me while I go over to your computer desk and turn on the Xbox One so that I can play Mass Effect 2. And I'm just like, on the one hand, kind of proud because I'm like, yeah, loves Mass Effect. It's a good girl right there. Got to hang on to that one. On the other hand, I'm like, so this must be how it has felt when last year when I was like, I'm literally going to leave you for about a week because of Destiny 2. And she's like, yeah, probably. So, but yeah, no, she's going to be getting it too. So she'll be
Nice.
part of the crew. Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be real good. And so we were talking last night. So you've decided, because I remember you telling me last week in text during the stream, actually, that you were like trying to convince your Jessica to let you get an Xbox One. And you came up with a brilliant idea of saying that, you know, Pete dug up a used one that you just had in the backyard somehow, even though you guys obviously just moved in. And so how has that circumstance changed now?
Well, now she's 100% for it because I pretty much was like, I got you a Switch for Christmas.
Ooh,
So
is that the play you made? You didn't tell me that.
well, I mean, that's the play she made. She gave it. She gave me that opening. She was like, I mean, you did give me a Twitch for Christmas, so I mean, it would only make sense that you could. And I'm like, and she's like, and you fucking love pirates, and I'm like, I do love pirates. I mean,
yeah,
you know that. And she's like, yeah, and it's not like it's gonna be too expensive. And I'm like, yeah, it's not like it's not that expensive. I can piecemeal it if I need to.
Mm-hmm.
Just get Xbox Live for a month before, so and then I get it for the year afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, I mean, you're gonna get the new job soon, so that's not like time isn't going to be a problem. She's
Are
like, well, what
you
about?
getting in the new job?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
My job doesn't have it's super hard on your body.
Yeah, your
The
current
summers,
one, I know.
Yeah, the summers are brutal. The summers we don't get done until like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Jesus, why are the summers more brutal than the winters?
Because the Jersey Shore, not the show, but like the actual Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
It like our company holds the the business for all the companies in the Jersey Shore.
I'm still not understanding what the hell you're trying to say.
The food people like pizza shops on the boardwalk, they get their food from us, from my company.
Oh, okay.
So in the summertime when they're open, we get busier.
Oh, okay. So you got extra business in the summer.
Oh, yeah, a lot of extra business.
Gotcha.
Like the orders right now are about 600, 700 a night. 800, 900 on Thursdays, and in the summertime on like our slow days, it's 12, 1,400 cases a man, 1,400 orders. It's bananas.
So that extra Xbox just turned on to my left. I didn't fucking touch it. It just fucking turned on its own.
Huh.
What are you doing? Turn it off. Weird ass thing. It's like it knew. It's like it knew. It's like, oh, we're getting ready for pirates? It's like, no, calm down. It's not here yet. Oh, goodness. But yeah, no, I'm super stoked. Sea of Thieves. I am glad you're getting a new job, buddy, because I know that'll be much better for you. And it should give you a little more time, yeah?
Oh, yeah. It's 4 days on, 3 days off.
Nice. Is that it's probably going to affect our podcasting schedule, yeah?
I mean, it might a little bit.
Yeah.
But you work days, so I don't think it would be too much of a difference. I mean, it's going to change RNG too, because I might not have Saturday off. You know?
Yeah. Well, that's what I was thinking.
Gonna have to play it by ear.
Yeah, and you'll be working days?
It's days, and then it's a swing shift, so it will go days, and then it will go nights, and then it will go days, and then it will go nights.
On like alternating weeks or something?
Yeah.
Ugh, that sounds brutal.
It sucks, but it's a pay cut if you look at the number, like per hour, but then you realize it's 12-hour shifts, so I get 8 hours overtime a week, so it actually is more.
Okay. Well, as long as you're getting more sleep and you're making more money.
Yeah, and it's more time with my family. So
yeah. And see, and I know you said family, but really, all I'm thinking is me.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's also acceptable.
Yeah. Gotta be that pirate legend, yo. Gotta be
listen,
that pirate legend.
I want that ship.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's multiple ships and you get to customize them.
Yeah.
Like even more so when you get your pirate lair.
Yeah.
So I'm stoked for that.
I want that fucking ship.
They were saying, and I realized they're probably being optimistic. They were saying probably by the end of the second week, they should start seeing their first pirate legends who have like done everything to get to the top.
Mm-hmm.
And in my head, I'm like, bitch, you guys are getting an influx of Destiny players.
Yeah. You don't understand.
They're going to be pirate legends on Sunday. Like, I don't think you get it. I don't think you're prepared.
Yeah. Rare. That's cute. But let me just tell you what's really going to happen.
Yeah.
What's really going to happen is motherfuckers who are like, I want to beat the raid the day it comes out, first ever, are going to be like, I wonder what it takes to be a pirate, the pirate legend, or the captain of legend. Yeah. I'll find out.
Yeah.
There's going to be a Dado that just is, fuck it. Just goes deep.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. So I really hope Microsoft Game Studios and Rare are prepared for A, the server load, first of all, and B, that they are ready to turn out content. And I was saying some stuff in the Twitch stream. I think they have a good opportunity to be able to turn around stuff, because I know, there's been a lot said about Destiny and like video game engines, and everybody knows Destiny 1's game engine wasn't quite up to snuff until towards the end of its life cycle. And from what we've heard, Destiny 2's engine is up to snuff in terms of turning out content quickly, although in reality, that remains to be seen as the actual case in real life, despite what they've said, unfortunately. But we know, factually, Fortnite Battle Royale, developed by Epic Games, who are also creators and engineers of the Unreal Engine 4, which it runs on, they made Fortnite Battle Royale in a month. Think about all the updates they've had. They have almost weekly updates, and they're adding shit all the time. Sea of Thieves runs on Unreal Engine 4. And they've said that because of the engine, it is really easy for them to make shit and stuff and like put it in. And they've also said that they can like add islands and shit, and like you wouldn't necessarily know because they can sneak it in updates and stuff because of how flexible their stuff is.
Dude, I'm so excited. Like, I've watched people with the new there's the ships, the different well, I mean, there's only two types of ships, but the guys with the chest that cries, the one that makes you drunk.
Yep. I mean, there was a point in the Twitch stream where one of our guys, who I guess will be on my crew, Poseidon, was just getting drunk all the time.
Yeah,
and he's throwing up everywhere. And one of my other buddies was catching the puke in a bucket and throwing it back on him, and they're just tossing the puke back and forth between the buckets like fucking hot potato. And I'm trying to steer the ship, and they're throwing puke on me, which blinds you temporarily. And yeah, I read about a chest, a cursed chest that makes everybody on the ship throw up. And people were talking about like keeping the chest and like cannonballing somebody with the chest into an opponent's ship to make everybody puke, so then it can be raided real easy. And I'm just like, oh Jesus, that's insane.
Yeah, that sounds dope.
And after I got off Twitch, and also got off playing the game, one of my new crewmates texted me on Xbox Live and was like, "Hey, ever wonder how many buckets of water it takes to sink a ship?" And then he's like, "Well, I found out the answer. It's 100."
Oh.
So I guess you could sink ships by just like, I mean, you could just go over and just start dumping water in there, I guess, which is pretty classic, actually. And actually, if you think about it, you could probably do it like in the harbors and just like bucket waters a ship over or water over onto an enemy ship, you know, and be like, "Oh yeah, no, we're not doing anything. We're just carrying buckets of water. What are you talking about?"
And
And then as soon as their backs turn, just throw the water into their ship and slowly sink their ship. Oh, it'd be great.
This is the day that you will remember that you almost caught Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, but
and if we stream, I will be in character. I will let you know that right now.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll tell you right away though, because I know, if you intend to stream with Twitch, because I know we have the same internet and same speeds of internet, actually, same provider. You're gonna have to fucking talk to Comcast if you want to stream with the Xbox, because they gotta like open some fucking ports and shit for you.
Shitheads.
Yeah. It's dumb, but yeah. There's a whole rigmarole. Just call me. I can tell you how to get through all the things. I mean, I had to do that with my PS4 too, so you know, maybe it's just me. I'm not sure. But yeah. So yeah, look forward to our Mast cast. And our Twitch streams with I've dubbed our crew and ship that will be forthcoming with changes and stuff. We're the crew of the Clinking Tankard, because there's a mast that you can get early in the game that's mugs of grog being clinked together and overflowing, and it's like, yeah, well, we've already got a bunch of drunken people on a pirate ship. Why not? Seems like a great name for a crew and a ship. So, although I've been kind of debating about it, because it's like, well, a ship's name and crew should probably be different a bit. So it's like, ship's probably Clinking Tankard. Not entirely sure what the pirate crew would be named. So I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. In a few days. It's gonna be great.
Yeah,
it's gonna be great.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. You been playing anything else this week besides some Destiny and some Paladins and stuff?
I mean, this week was like I said at the beginning of we were in the beginning during the Crycast portion of this of this episode. I mean, with everything that was going on, I didn't have a lot of time to play any games really.
Mm-hmm.
I just basically got gaming in yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I thank you for being the ear to listen.
Be the fork
let me vent
in your ear.
You were the fork, good sir.
That's terrible.
I don't want to say I'm disappointed, but I'm kind of disappointed.
In the words that came out of my mouth just now?
Yeah, in the pun that you just made. I know we agreed to no puns. But then I realized every episode title we ever do was a pun. So
yeah, of some kind.
Only good puns. How about that?
I feel like that gets harder and harder, because I mean, technically, you have the unique position of being the most offensive of all.
Yeah, because I'm a punny motherfucker.
Oh no, I was saying because you're a dad. Dad jokes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I do puns all the time.
Yeah, I bet you do.
That and I do the Office lookup. Like, have you seen The Office?
Nah, I've tried to watch The Office. It's not my thing.
That's understandable.
Yeah,
I basically just look up at like a camera that's not there.
Mm-hmm.
Like whenever somebody says something, and I realize I do it in life. Like somebody will say something stupid to me at work, and I'll just. But
yeah, I've been told, and this is kind of weird because like I'm not a muscular guy. I've been told that sometimes, and completely unintentionally, like I give people like the Rock eyebrow.
Okay.
You know, like that look, and then the raise, you know, and then the eyebrow just gets up there. I've been told I give people that unintentionally. And I'm like, really? Because like I'll try and do it in the mirror, and I'm like, that motherfucker eyebrow ain't going nowhere. Bunch of liars. So
sometimes I'll say things like, some people will say things to me, and I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard anyone say in my entire life. I have gotten nothing from that. May God have mercy on our souls.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, from old school.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Are we out of things to talk about? I think we're out of things to talk about.
I say that, and your time is slowly ticking.
Yeah, I was
down,
gonna say I got like 20 minutes or whatever.
So I mean, I think we're good to go. I mean,
is
we
there
cried
anything
together, we laughed together.
We had a very interesting show this week, I guess.
Next week, I'm going to take a vertebraker. I had to push back my wrestling lesson, obviously.
A vertebraker.
So, yeah.
Remember that whole thing you said about puns like 30 seconds ago?
No, it's what it's called.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Hold
on, let me show you.
Okay, well, fuck me and my ignorance of fucking wrestling terms. I thought you were just making a terrible dad joke because we had the whole thing about puns, and you're taking like a break,
No.
like a vertebrae of something. I don't know.
No, I'm going to show you what it is.
I'll see myself out.
And the reason why I'm so... Remember how I said I know fear?
Uh-huh.
I know fear, good sir, because of this. I'll put it in our... This will be the last thing, guys, I promise. Fork fam, I love you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I want to thank everybody who has, been there for me during this whole thing. And here's a vertebraker, good sir. It should be in our discussion, so you could talk. You can react to it. Should be coming up.
I'm looking.
Anytime.
I'm waiting.
Huh? Why are you being such an asshole?
That not working, bro.
It's not working.
Not working.
That's interesting.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That is weird. Oh, I have a one thing. Did you post it to the fucking fork chat and not the Buster chat?
That might be it.
Yeah. See, I don't know how to get back to that screen without killing the call, so I'm not gonna do that.
I can do it real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Might as well, and then we'll do it to sign off. I'll start my sign offs, and then you can send it, and we'll do the reaction. Yeah. So until he sends the thing, I'm your host, your fucking humbled host, author, podcaster, gamer, Tim K. Trotter. As always, you can check out all of my stuff at www.dynamicworksproductions.com. Got my book on there, got my podcasts.
Going for the choke slam, and I cannot remember the last time we saw that actually work for the Hurricane. Oh, wait a second.
We have not seen this in a long time.
What the hell?
Wow, you said...
Oh.
Do not try...
Okay. Well, yes. I guess what I don't understand there is why in the fuck did he let that dude get his arms around to twist him so that he could drop him on his fucking neck?
Well, I mean, it's a wrestling match. It's a finisher. You know what I mean? It's set up. That's how it's set up. But yeah, I understand. You'll never get me in that position in real life.
Well, that's good.
Ever. You'll never get me on your back upside down. Because number one, I'm going to kick hard.
Yeah, I bet.
But yeah, so that's the move I'm going. That's the move I have to take this upcoming week.
Okay.
You can find me on Twitter at BusterKnuckle13, BusterKnuckle13. If you like listening to me talk about video games more specifically and not crying for an hour and a half.
Did you talk about it much on RNG?
I talked about it briefly.
Okay, and then just moved the fuck on. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
You can find that podcast at the RNG Cast on Twitter, the RNG Cast on any and every podcasting app or device you can find. Zune listeners, thank you so much. Why do you still have a Zune? But thank you.
Hey, fuck you. I have a Zune.
I did. So that's what I said. There's like 4 people. I always, every time you check the statistics on it, you're like, Zune?
I know, right?
You're like, Zune? Okay, cool.
I love that line in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 so fucking much. I've told you that story, right?
What happened?
Watching Guardians of the Galaxy 2, spoiler, Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
He gets a Zune.
He gets a Zune. And he's like, oh. And my girlfriend turns to me and says, what's a Zune? In the theater! And I said out loud, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And she's like, okay, tell me after the movie.
Great.
And I'm just like, God damn, it bombed hard. But still, I have Zune love for y'all. So don't you worry.
If you download and listen, I have love for everybody.
Yeah,
So.
until the battery or the cord breaks, I'm gonna use that Zune HD.
Oh
yeah. Okay. Did you say all the things? Did we stumble to the end?
Blister Lister on PSN.
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah, Linux is the demon on PSN as well. That's actually in our show notes in the podcast file every week. So any of those things actually are in our show notes. I probably forget to tell people that. You can find that in the show notes.
Also, episode 94 of the RNG cast is up and ready for download right now.
Wasn't last week's 94? I thought this week's was 95.
No, last week's was 93. This week's is 94.
Oh, you're pushing 100.
Dude, it's so hard to keep the track.
Oh man. I tell you, once you get past 20, it's like, fuck. I don't know anymore.
Once you get past 20, you're like, should I just put episode numbers or just name them puns? And then you're like, fuck, I want to name them puns. And then you name them puns. That's what happens. Every it's unless you're like the Joe Rogan experience, but we probably shouldn't talk about get into a whole nother conversation since you have a time sync and we've already been recording for
3 hours.
3 hours.
Yep, 3 hours.
Yeah, I'm a fucking soldier. I podcast for about 6 hours on one day.
Oh God, last week, so long.
Last week, yeah. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you technically did 3 shows. Only one of them was lost to time.
Mm-hmm.
So that sucks. Anyways,
hit him with it, Tim.
Until next week, kids, get forked.
Shazam.
And oh fuck, I'd say we're out, but I just did a thing and all my windows disappeared on my screen. I'm trying to hit. Where the fuck did the stop button go? Where did it go? Okay, there it is. I got it back.
Dude.
Thank you for listening to a Dynamic Works production podcast. You can find our podcast at www.dynamicworksproductions.com. Feel free to email us at dynamicworks@mac.com.
Dominic Armato, the voice of Guybrush Threepwood, and you're listening to a Dynamic Works production podcast.
The Citadel, Arrival, is the first installment in a series of epic science fiction short stories reminiscent of the Pulp Fiction style. It's a fast-paced story that will take you through twists and turns that you will not expect, until they are thrust upon you with all the force, excitement, and chaos of a plasma cannon blast. The story follows Katarl, a nobody cog in the working wheels of a futuristic society run completely by Megacorp, a corporation that carefully runs and manages the lives of the people living under its sphere of power. On one of Katarl's few and far between days off from work, an outing he had hoped would be fun and relaxing turns into an explosive adventure that drags him kicking and screaming into situations and challenges that will make him question every aspect of his life. Watch this colorful tapestry unfurl as Katarl and his newfound allies find their way through this classic, yet oddly surprising tale of good and evil, where nothing is quite what it appears to be. That's The Citadel, Arrival, by author Tim K. Trotter, available right now on Amazon Kindle Store and iTunes iBookstore for only $2.99.
Go Tim.
What's up?
What's up, buddy?
How's it going? How's it going?
It's going.
I think coming through. Okay.
You can hear me?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
We're getting one half of the conversation.
What the fuck happened?
What?
Someone
What happened?
disconnecting or got a really deep voice.
Oh boy.
Who has a deep voice? What?
I do. I unplugged my headset.
The hell were you listening to? Or watching?
I'm in a fire team in Destiny.
Okay.
Yeah. So, how was everything going?
Oh, could be better.
But could be worse. Could be worse.
Yeah. Could always be worse. That's always the correct argumentative stance to take on anything.
Oh.
Let's see. So I kind of figured we'd still roll for the top because I have no idea what the fuck I'm going to talk about on any of the things. I'm just going to wing it.
That's fine.
I figured we'd just get the life one out of the way first.
Yeah, that's fine.
So then, you can talk about,
Yeah.
Yep.
The shenanigans.
Yep. And, I don't know. I mean, I guess I won't talk about the fight that I had because I told her earlier, from past arguments that you've already heard us have, that I wasn't going to do that. So I guess I'll just talk about, shit that sucks in my life besides that. Sure. Fuck it. We'll do that. And then we'll try to bring ourselves up on the...
From there.
Yeah. That's the plan. Simple-ish, I guess. Get this swig of coffee. Got a pillow for your controller there, buddy?
Yeah. 1 second. I gotta make sure Pete's everything is okay.
Yeah.
As I type out a message.
For sure. Oh my god, next my dog starts barking. Stop it.
Stop there he is.
He's not even doing his I see something. He's doing I need attention of some kind.
Yeah. Pete, don't chew your bone on top of a plug. That'll kill you. Alright. Oh, man. Really sucks.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah, man. Okay. Do I sound all right, first off? Do I need to get closer to the mic?
No, you sound great.
Okay.
So, we'll do that. Okay. Now I hear Destiny. What?
The plug came out. I got it then. Pete caught it when he walked by.
You got like one ear to me, one ear to Destiny?
I have a small plug-in.
Oh, okay.
I have both ears technically to you, but I have an earbud in just so I can hear the chatter.
Fair enough. All right, let's do this. Cut in.